Howdy, folks, and welcome to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D campaign, or the home thereof. I'm Joe Treff, your Dungeon Master for the evening, and joining me, as always, I have my friends, Matt, Miles, Allie, and Tina. This is the 90th session of our campaign. It's been going on for close to 3 years. We're actually coming up to, because I think in January is when we started before the streaming. So coming up very close on 3 years, but 90 sessions in. Thank you very much for joining us. A few announcements before we get started. I didn't print my things out, so I'll have to pull this up really quick. We do have a website, alberonrpg.com. There is a number of things that you can download for free, including roughly 130 pages of information on the background of Alberon and how you could run a campaign in this setting. It has backgrounds on all the races, classes, organizations that they could fit into, how the backgrounds might play, a variety of things like that. So, alberonrpg.com/lore. There's also information about this campaign, some of the characters, some of the things that have transpired over the last 3 years. So definitely check that out. Howdy das. For the Instagram, for the art and the various hand-drawn maps and things of that nature, we have an Instagram. That Instagram is AlberonRPG, which is all of our socials. It's the best place that you could go and see some of these things with greater detail. You'll notice that the battle cam tonight has art rolling across it. That will change if we need the battle cam. But to see it a little bit closer, definitely check out Instagram. There is a whole bunch of new merchandise, which you can get in our store, which is located in the description. I believe you can only see it on the web version of Twitch at the moment, along with our follower emotes, but that will be changing shortly. There are t-shirts. There are a variety of other things. I think there's t-shirts, sweatshirts. I think there's a crop top now, and then there's also a variety of things from. There's a variety of things for Prouse Brewery, the fictional brewery that we played helping hand in during an Ale's Tale, one of the one-shots that we did here. That is all available now. And then finally, we are using Sirenscape for the sort of drumbeat action that we have going on in the background, although I don't know how audible it is, so I'll turn it up a little bit for you. But Sirenscape is a digital tool set for people who want to add audio of all kinds to their day-to-day life, special events, parties, really awkward bar mitzvahs, or whatever you want to use it for. Sirenscape. Check that out. So,
is there such a thing as not a very awkward bar mitzvah?
Man. So the three of us, Miles, Allie, and I grew up in Newton, and there are a lot of bar mitzvahs.
Oh, yeah.
There were high roller bar mitzvahs.
I had some that were less awkward.
Yes.
I only went to awkward ones. I only went to 3, though.
Oh, I went
to over 20. It was
same.
Yeah.
Gradient.
I wasn't very involved.
Neither here nor there. But the bar mitzvahs, you can use Sirenscape if you wish. And with that, I will bring us into our theme song and jump into our recap. Finger Gang. Last we played, you were able to uncover, using a combination of the Dispel magic, and identify the true nature of the spells that affected the Mind Flayer's grotesque. A silver statuette that you had found in the pawn shop called Duskmock's Pawn Shop up in the Upper Anchor. You were able to find some candy in belongings that you found on the cultist, and were able to track that candy to the remnants of the Midnight Assembly's base, now in the basement of the Sunset Suites factory. Morwen, you had a plentiful amount of sugar, including the candy that you ate as you looted an active body. You found that you did not feel super good after that. Even worse, you found yourselves all descending into the basements of this factory, which, through misuse and over the course of time, has congealed into a cavern of sugar and hardened sweets, semi-crystallized into stalactites. You encountered these clockwork undead, assembled souls that you had, or some of you, had encountered back in Port Quinn at the beginning of our adventure, prior to the stream. You fought those, now encrusted with candy themselves, with Shay exploding into the hallway beyond everybody else and beginning to engage the cultists as well. You were able to vanquish these cultists and capture their leader, along with another, named Benjon. You questioned the leader and found that the cultists had set up a base within a temple in the Kuatar Badlands. After failing to intimidate them, he spit in Shay's face, prompting a last question prior to Shay spear-piercing through the throat and neck of the Midnight Assembly member. Morwen, you picked a chest with the help of Heinrich and several others, and managed to acquire a fair haul of gold, jewels, crowns, and various other accoutrements. You made your way back outside. Heinrich, you and Nazara headed back towards the Doontop Manor, with Shay following quietly behind in the rooftops above. Morwen, you and Akka headed back to the Dungannon Antiquities Collective. Akka, your base of operations. But we're going to begin with Shay, up on the rooftops.
Up on the rooftops, clip clop. There goes Shay, and I didn't plan that one through.
It's the thought that counts.
There goes Shay. There she goes again.
I'm glad that's what we have going on. So.
She's walking on rooftops. Shay.
Shay.
Any others?
Yeah, I'll give you a second if you want to do any more.
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Shay, you walk through the streets or kind of following on the rooftops beneath as the rain falls down. The darkened streets of Dungannon, the city, very old, and so the architecture casting shadows every time the lightning strikes, kind of illuminating the clouds above. Here and there as you walk, because you are looking, you do see that there are humanoid individuals, but walking in ways similar to the creatures that you've seen. The streets are mostly abandoned otherwise.
All of them moving roughly east.
Yes. Make a perception check.
There's one who's just like bumping into the wall, trying to go east. He's like, oh, I can't do
Open
it.
up there, Eddie.
30. With a 30, as you walk, you notice almost all of them trudging, and very mindlessly. You see them, a few of them kind of gathered up in this, what looks like at one point maybe a cow pen, now empty, but they're all kind of wedged into the corner, kind of trying to move forward. But then something does catch your eye, and it's heading kind of north. Dark figure wearing robes and this hat. With a 30, you recognize very distinctly as this lightning flashes across the sky, you see a bony hand, and you recognize this is an undead creature, and as it disappears into the alley, it heads north. It moves a little differently than the others. But you continue to follow Heinrich and Nazara as they twist a little bit further to the east and eventually to the Doontop Manor. You are trying to find a place like high up. Okay. The place that you'd spent previously, this sort of across two streets, but because the structure's on the bottom a little bit shorter, you have a clear shot to the top level of the Doontop Manor. And because it's lifted on those stilts, very, very good shot. And so climbing that, you would find yourself kind of on top of this structure, maybe 40 feet tall, 45 feet tall. The top of it does have this opening, and you can see a large brass bell with water just dripping off of it. There are lines that go down, and you would imagine it can be activated from within. It looks like a church, but you don't see any religious iconography, at least none that's obvious. But beneath you, you can see across, there's like the front door beneath, and then across two streets, you see the Doontop Manor, and then the Emerald Expanse, very dark in the night sky, kind of overhead beyond. Behind you, you can see what you see right there, this old kind of tree that rises up, most of the leaves fallen now in the winter, but there is still growing little bits of green here and there, mostly browned lawn, and then cobblestones that extend the street up to the doorway, like a back door almost. What are you doing?
I mean, ultimately looking for a place to tuck away to rest.
Sure. Up there, I mean, if you want to get in underneath the bell, and it's a large bell, that does create almost like a cone of dry space. So,
Just
easy
hope it
enough.
doesn't ring.
It's
Yeah.
what?
Just hope it doesn't ring.
Yeah. You tuck yourself underneath, and almost instantly, it's like the rain stops hitting you, and then it does kind of pool up around your feet and run off the sides. It's relatively dry. And are you intending to kind of keep watch for a little bit and then go to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. Make another perception check.
22.
With the 22, you wait and kind of perched up there in a way that is both ready yet comfortable for you, kind of in a crouched position. You watch, your mind kind of wandering to other things, and then you see again this dark kind of figure. Now across the street, and in fact, you would see... Matt, if you could put this in that little, the little road nearest you, between those two structures, yeah. So, from this flash of lightning, you see a skeletal face beneath the brim of this hat, and you can see this hand kind of moving and motioning. With the 22 also, not on the map, but further north in that direction, coming from almost the Dune-Top Manor, you see another person, although not moving like undead. They seem to kind of have their head on a swivel, turning, looking, scurrying with a hood kind of obscuring their face. Maybe about 5'5", almost like about your height. And they seem to be kind of rushing down the road. They will be passing right in front of this individual. Still maybe 100 feet down.
Is this undead creature doing anything threatening, or is it just kind of shambling along?
Make an insight check. It seems to be standing right at the edges of where, if there was a light source, shadows might cast it. And you'd imagine a creature with dark vision wouldn't be able to see it coming down the street. What was
26.
that? 26. And you are wearing the mask, right? So with this kind of night vision that you are granted from this beautiful red and gold gilded hawk mask, you can see this skull, the dried teeth kind of yellowing. They move as if there should be speech emerging. And having been around a number of arcane casters, it almost seems as if it's casting a spell. There's an intelligence to this that you haven't really seen in a lot of undead. Maybe 100 feet away, you see this woman now. Human, maybe half-elf. And they seem heading towards the structure that you are in or beyond it on this road.
Is there a way to move myself over to the tree without being seen?
Make a stealth check. You could certainly try.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Especially with your ability to basically run across vertical surfaces. From the bell, you wait for a moment where the wind picks up and you spread your arms across to allow the garments to catch a little bit of that wind and carry your momentum a little bit further to the tree, not exerting any force to jump, but allowing yourself to be carried.
Like a flying
And as the
squirrel.
wind moves the tree, you kind of catch into it and it moves no more than it would with the wind. You feel very hidden.
I want
Yeah, right up
to
there.
watch for a second and see what this thing's doing, but I will move to intervene if it's behaving hostily or if it attacks the person moving in our direction.
All right. So you watch as she approaches, and you can see the head of the skeleton kind of turn. It does appear to notice her. Are you doing anything?
Notice, but is it doing anything?
So you see this creature, and again, it's even being aware of it. You can see the outline of it, but in the dark with the storm going overhead, it's hard to make out the details.
Sure.
Now and then when the lightning crashes, you do see little bits. And you see the hands. It still seems like the hands are focused more in your direction. Maybe 50 feet away now. This is not the actual miniature. I don't know where the miniature is. But that was going to be Nazara before we got a Nazara.
Right about here.
All the way at the edge of the board. So right about there, yeah.
Give him a chance.
No bow. It's a 5'5" person wearing like cloaks, dark cloaks. Green slick.
No chance.
Where's the chicken?
Okay.
Y'all need a chicken?
Not really, but
Yes,
good
we
to
do.
have
Okay, we'll
we
use
do.
the chicken
We always
instead.
need a chicken.
She draws closer and closer. The rain intensifies for a bit, and you can see she gathers her robes kind of around her and begins to move closer. She closes to within about 10 feet. And with your passive perception, suddenly you're aware of the fact that beneath you, this this dried up grass with the elements of green now seems to almost be moving. And you do see, as this creature kind of stops moving its hands, suddenly another through the ground. and another. And these, you see like graying green flesh decaying and falling away. You've seen these before. Are you moving to intervene?
What's the other human
It seems like that, yeah, at this point.
doing?
So at this point, there where that chicken is,
Yep.
you can move the chicken almost directly in front of them. You see their arm kind of produce from the pocket and their head go down. You hear this as the keys begin to move. Her head kind of now down and looking at them, trying to get as much light as she can. It's almost turned to this creature. She steps past it. Another 5 feet, another 10 feet. And at this moment,
Doesn't notice it.
you see her stop and kind of gasp
Double take.
as zombies. Can you make the left of the tree, one of them, and then behind that another?
Well, just the
Like
battle camp's not on.
There.
Yep.
And where's this fifth one go?
Did we check this already? Is this
Yeah. No. Give me a second. I got it.
Oh, okay.
Where's the fifth one?
The fifth one. So if you see where the chicken is,
Yeah.
forward one,
Like
left
here?
one. No. So inside the little fenced-in area. So other direction, forward for your perspective, and then
The chicken's fenced in?
Like there?
yeah. The chicken.
appropriate.
The chicken is about to be
Okay.
fenced in.
Yeah. 'cause
So
there's the
give me a moment.
blocks there.
Are you doing anything?
Yeah.
Then go ahead and roll for initiative. This is going to jump you into combat.
Should we all roll?
We're not
There,
We're
there's
not gonna be.
if there is a point that something occurs, it could potentially raise Heinrich and Nazara's attention. There's no way that across the anchor and then across several bridges in Lower Sinosa that you guys would be able to hear.
Short of an
What time of
explosion.
night is it?
Right. Huh?
What time of night is it?
Yeah.
So
How
at this
long has it
moment-
been since we departed?
Since you departed where?
Since we split up to like leave.
About an hour, because walking all the way back. At this point, it's about 5 in the morning.
Oh. All right, I'm not hitting the bar yet then.
Wow. All right. Natural 20s.
21.
21. Okay. 21 for Shay. Da-da-da. Okay, Shay, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna spend 2 for haste,
Okay.
and then I want to jump down out of this tree and then basically move to shuffle her along
Okay.
out of danger.
Yeah, absolutely. So you leap from this tree. As you see these creatures go up, she gasps and you're already moving. You alight, and then you're just going to kind of like shuffle her out. Mm-hmm. All right. I believe with half your movement speed, that still gives you like 20 feet of movement.
So my movement flat
Yes.
is 75.
Okay.
Haste doubles that, so it's 150.
So you have about, I'll say you have about 65 feet that you could move this individual. So where are you moving them?
She was moving in the direction.
Of this structure, and she was turning into this little park-like
This-
thing. The other direction.
This way.
Other direction. So she's turning into this way.
Oh,
So
okay.
past, she's going past the tree or was about to.
I mean, trying to move her toward where I know Heinrich ended up.
Because that would be back in the direction that she was coming from. Okay. So you are going to move her past this skeleton creature.
Sure.
And though you don't, oh no, you still would provoke an attack of opportunity.
I'll hit him on the way by.
It's not going to take it against you.
Okay.
But if you would like to, go ahead and move
I mean, I'm
Shay up to that individual. This is going to be at disadvantage as you are currently holding someone.
Sure. Well, that wasn't great. That one's gonna miss unless a 13 hits.
Hang on one sec. These guys are, I mean, they're zombies. That hits.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, sorry. This is not the zombie.
No, that's
No,
the
this is
regular.
the other one.
So now that you're closer, you take Nazar, or not Nazar, you take this woman, and as you pull her, she is a half elf. You actually see the slightly fey ears come out from this hood. She looks to be maybe in her 40s, but you begin to haul her away. Give me 1 second here. That was a 13, you said? That is a miss. So you swing forwards. Unlike the other creatures that just kind of take your blows, this one makes this kind of noise and moves away, and you hear the air almost escaping as if there should be vocal cords, but there's not.
15.
15 just hits.
Ten damage.
10 damage, nice. Alrighty. And then, sorry, 1 second here. Alright,
And then the last one's a 16.
16 hits.
For 7.
7.
And
So
then
as you haul her over, you grab this person who kind of looks up at you and goes, "What?" And then before she can even get words out, she's just the air pulled from her lungs as you accelerate. You reach this skeleton.
Rubber chicken, so I'm picturing.
Yeah, like literally the air is like her breath is still where she was, and you guys are gone. You reach the skeleton, and as it reaches out, you like push it away, kind of causing it to stumble back. It seems to reach out with the other hand, and you like forcibly smack that away. He's going to reach out though. You know what? No, he's just going to let you guys go by. So that's going to take you to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, right about there.
Oh, God.
So you straight down, the water actually parting in your wake as you go across the cobblestones. That is going to bring us to the individual that you are hauling. Give me just 1 second here. So as you kind of haul her again, you can see her eyes flutter up almost wide, but still somehow not quite all the way open. She almost has this like permanently sleepy expression. And the eyes too, though blue, they almost seem to have this lavender cast that for a moment is just a little startling in this moment. But she turns to you and kind of turns around, the eyes a little bit confused. What's going on? That's all that she's going to do on her turn because she's very confused. That is going to bring us to these creatures. So, Matt, if you could move all of the zombies in a direct line as close as they can get 20 feet.
Like, boom. Boom.
And then an additional 20 feet because they're going to dash to try to get there as fast as they can. It's slow going for them, though. This is like these zombies at a full-out sprint, and in the same time it took them to catch up to you, you leapt off of a roof, grabbed somebody, picked them up, ran to somebody, struck them twice, dodged a blow, and then moved another 40 feet. So they're trying their best.
So I think these two still have 5 feet of movement.
I mean, it doesn't matter. That's where they're going
But
to
yeah,
end up.
they're there.
They're not terribly smart. You can see these like empty eye sockets, and you can smell the decay as they get closer.
See if I can do
This skeletal creature. Oh yeah.
For what it's
Live
worth, I
action.
would have positioned
off
myself
on
so
that
she's
one.
further away from them. So
Okay.
like I'm still closer.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of have you like shoving
Yeah.
her along.
This isn't really, there you go.
All right. So
Good enough.
Until they move 5 more feet.
Yeah.
exactly, it's good for now, but then you hear from behind you as you go by it, and as this creature kind of recovers from your blows, this voice, and you see the hand reach out, and as the hand goes to the left, you watch as these runes seem to almost drift off of it. These blackened, sort of magical artifact things that seem to almost be distortions in reality. And suddenly, in front of you, and you can see maybe 5 feet in front of you, the ground begins to glow before suddenly this wall of fire extends across the road. The structure in front of you, off to the right, it's almost like this domicile red stone held together by mortar. There is a window on the front that shatters inwards with the heat. I believe you get a dexterity saving throw because it is hot side towards you. Yeah. And that's just a flat save because it's a disadvantage for holding this lady, who I think also is at disadvantage. All right.
24.
24, that's a success. So, you're still taking... Oh, no, you are not taking any damage, I don't believe.
Correct.
However, she is going to fail.
Uh-oh. You might be carrying a roast chicken.
No, that's not bad. She's only going to take 19 points of fire damage.
The chicken's name?
Yeah, this chicken.
Rotisserie?
Rotisserie. So this wall of fire now in front of you, and you're forced to kind of like dig your feet in to stop the momentum for a second.
Okay.
That is its turn. That is going to bring us to your turn. Shay, what are you doing?
This wall of fire is 5 feet in front of me.
Yeah, so it's like it's directly in front of you, and then it kind of
There.
closes either side of the.
The hand is.
Yeah.
I'll just.
It's about 20 feet high,
hand
but a
is
foot
more
thick, and it goes
intimidating.
30 feet across the road.
Is there a building on either side?
Yeah, and so on either side, on one side, you can see the window that shattered in. Even the brick is beginning to start to glow on the edges from the heat. The house on the other side is wood, and it's going up. Almost like the whole right side of it, almost instantly.
Okay. Does the brick one look scalable
For you? Yeah,
while carrying somebody?
possibly.
The chicken.
Okay. Gonna hit the one closer to the brick building,
Okay.
This one?
whichever one that is.
Brick building's on this side?
Yeah, brick building's on my right. Yeah, so closer to Tina is the brick building.
Alright, so the one that is.
27.
27 hits, yeah, roll damage. Do you want buildings? Would that be helpful?
Sure.
If you have them.
You got buildings, man? Give me some of them buildings.
Secret DM room.
Hey, man, you got any buildings? Oh, yeah.
So put that closer on Tina's side, and then that on the other side of the road. It is roughly 5 feet taller than that house
Okay.
in redstone, but we do what we can.
Is it burning a family inside?
You don't
Like-
hear anybody
yeah,
yet, but it's been.
I wanna be able to,
This is
like,
happening in
yeah,
seconds,
move.
so we'll find out.
Move the other pieces.
Okay. And then because I get the free hit with that one,
Yep.
Oh,
How much damage was that
how
one?
did it
13.
13.
We gotta.
That's a 28.
28 hits, yeah.
Focus.
For
Focus.
7?
Everyone look at Matt's finger.
7.
Hand.
Okay. So as this first one, you hit it once.
Boo.
You see the torso almost like rupture out.
Hi.
You guys are right there.
It's just not focusing. It's really annoying.
It happened a little bit last week. There's probably something on the lens,
Oh.
but that's one of the things with moving it. We'll fix it at the break, or I mean, you guys, have fun. You guys can do it.
I'm gonna keep.
Tina, you hit the torso, and you watch as part of the actual flesh like gives in and falls a little bit to the side. As this thing looks up and kind of lets out this, you kind of hit it again, and this time the chest cavity just in. The voice is choked off, and you can hear it beginning to move forward again, but it's badly hurt.
Taking this individual and just saying, trust me for a second, and hauling her up this building with me.
Okay. You hear her in the reaction to that just going, I don't really know. And just up the building you go. Make an athletics check. Make it flat.
right.
It would be at advantage
It's
normally
just
to
not
make it
gonna
flat.
happen.
Maybe.
24?
24. You put your foot on this, and instantly through
got
the
it.
boot, you can feel that there
You
is
got it.
heat that transfers through. This is hot, but you move quickly. And before too long, you find yourself right up on the roof. You swing this person up, and kind of bodily, she lands. You hear another oof. She hasn't caught her breath in this entire sequence of events. She
And
turns and kind of looks at you in this moment, still kind of breathing hard, and she just goes, "Who are you?"
using my bonus action to double my movement speed again.
So it's a, "Who are you?"
And we're moving in the direction of
And she's dead
the
because of
temple.
whiplash.
And so all of a sudden, some of the roof tiles off with you, and you are gone. Yeah, you move with 140 feet. You get across that block, and you are now 30 feet away from the Dune Top Manor. Like the air, kind of like rushing in front of you as you stop. But fantastic. And actually, for the moment, I'm going to take you out of combat because you are gone, and they're really slow. Well done. Well done. Let me bring us back here to our main camera. Dun, dun, dun. So, you find yourself now in the ring, out in front of the Doontop Manor. This creature, this individual that you've rescued, now as you and the wind by you, you can see like these little elements of like blonde hair get pulled from the hood, still like wet and kind of slicked to the side of her face. She like pulls it aside again and looks at you and looks behind her and like looks around, and she's like, how did you move so fast? Where are we? How?
I know you have a lot of questions. You were in danger. I'm sorry for acting so quickly.
I wasn't in that much danger. They've just never come out of the hollowed ground before. I guess thank you. I'm Sybil. And she holds her hand out, the sleeve like slick and wet against her arm.
Hi.
Takes her hand and kind of pulls it in towards her, looking at your arm. Where did you get these? And she kind of like tries to start pulling your sleeve up and like looking at the scarring that's occurring, these lightning-like scars.
A long story.
Oh, well, if you want to go back to the church, we can talk about it. It's interesting.
Sure.
We have to go back. Maybe we can walk around.
I have friends here, actually. This is a safe space.
Could you let go of me?
I'm not holding her
Okay,
anymore.
so like she's released. If you would like, you can make your way up into the Doontop Manor. So the two of you begin to walk. We'll get back to that in a second. Okay. You and Morwen walk back. Is there anything that you're doing on the way back to the Antiquities Collective?
Yeah, probably more
got, like,
awkward
an hour,
conversation.
right?
Okay, so like a good hour of awkward conversation. You wind your way through the darkened
That
cities
good
of...
steak soup I had earlier around here.
Steak soup?
Or something.
What?
Like a stew. You know?
Yeah, you were pretty
Cool.
drunk when you got that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I was there. With the, yeah.
You want to try that guy's fish? It was bad.
Oglethrees?
Nah, I wouldn't. I
Oh
wouldn't
no,
trust
the guy
that.
from...
Yeah.
Nah. It's like 2 hours away now.
Ah. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Somewhere off in the distance, you hear this kind of echoing in the streets, this like a little shriek, footsteps.
I don't want to have what they're having, huh?
That's probably the undead that have... Yep. We should get inside. It's raining. You know.
Aren't we walking? I'm
Yeah.
not having this conversation with you like
Yeah,
outside.
no, but I'm like, I'm hustling now a little because I'm like,
What?
this is unbearable.
Talon redeemed wheel.
Wheel?
Yeah.
Wheeler, whoa.
Oh.
You need reacting flashing lights, red and green on
so-
either side of you. So
Here's
when
the thing,
someone does
I
something,
don't
it's
see it.
ding!
I don't know where it comes up. I don't see it anywhere.
It's in the chat. It just says redeemed
Oh,
wheel or
gotcha,
woe,
gotcha,
and he
gotcha.
chose wheel.
Oh, nice.
Yay, Talon interacting. Hooray.
Thanks, Tom. So as you guys walk, there is this moment where, let's see, wheel. I was totally unprepared for this. I created these as rewards.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
Yeah, you begin to walk. You make your way back towards the Dungannon Antiquities Collective. I got it. I know what's going to happen here.
Okay.
Are you stopping
I'm
anywhere?
matching your pace and just a little, like, I'm not next to you, but it's a little
Yeah,
too
just
close.
like-
you know?
yeah,
Where it's
like-
just like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Like, well, if we're swinging hands, they keep hitting accidentally, you know?
Every now and then you step on somebody's heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring
No,
my
wheel,
cloak
not
up
heel.
tighter, just kind of like,
You make your way through, not necessarily finding anything especially interesting or dangerous along the way. And before too long, you make your way across the bridge to Sonoso and eventually to the Tufe Museum, where if you wish, you can go beneath.
yeah, going back in, making my way in,
Same.
assuming you're following.
Yep.
You go down into the basement space, the rain kind of disappearing behind. Just a moment here. Okay, so.
Is the wheel that Ogle 3 isn't there?
Almost. You walk down into the space, kind of opening the door into the familiar space beyond, this almost entryway that has off to the left the hallway that leads to Mr. Gift's office. Straight ahead, you would find a way closer to where Drea works. And actually, in this moment, from off to the right, where you know Ogle 3 tends to work and also where most people sleep in separate rooms, you do hear a door open. And looking to your right, kind of yawning, just having woken up, and this is your wheel, you see Drea.
Hey, nice.
Yay!
Oh shit.
Morwen, for you,
She came back
you'd seen her
early.
previously, this almost 6'5" dragonborn, not hair, but almost like quills that go down over the side in place of what would be hair.
Wait, where did I see her?
When you had woken up here, you had briefly
Okay.
interacted with
Right.
her, and she kind of shooed you out, and you left. But you can see in these draconic eyes, almost like sleep, and she blinks it. She looks. Aka.
Hey, Drea. Well, how you doing?
I was asleep, but now I'm awake.
Well, we just got back from, I don't know, what would you call that?
Fighting the undead in a candy factory.
Yeah, it was a long night.
There are undead everywhere, but the candy factory is a different sort of place.
It's quite exciting
I see.
and also quite nauseating.
Yeah, we should
Just
probably
kind of looks at you for a second and then just turns back to Aka.
have like a debrief with Mr. Gift. We found out a bit about the whole situation here, and some cultists trying to summon something. It's a lot to take in.
She
So-
closes the space between you guys, maybe like 15 feet from her room over to this main entryway. And she kind of towers over the two of you. Not really towering over you, but has a good 4 or 5 inches over you, and she's not wearing armor.
Yeah, she's-
But she walks up to you and she says, "It is almost 6 in the
yeah,
morning.
I know. I'm really tired too.
Mr. Gift is asleep, but you can wake him up if you wish."
I think it can probably wait. We should probably sleep too. But when we all get some sleep, let's catch up.
You kind of
I
smile.
have some stuff to tell you that you'd be interested in.
You always seem to think that, but Aka,
This time it's real, okay?
I have things to tell you too, if you want. I don't know if
What?
you'll find them interesting.
she
Oh,
turns.
this
she,
is Morwen also.
Yeah,
she
we
turns,
met.
She shifts
We
and
have
nods.
history.
Wait, what?
This morning. Or last night. Tonight? What did we mean?
She slept the afternoon away here.
Oh yeah, she drinks a lot.
I
Early.
noticed.
Yeah.
You still smell.
Thank you.
She turns back to you. I have a project that I am working on,
Okay.
but perhaps. She turns and kind of begins to head off towards her workshop.
I guess I'm gonna follow her.
Okay.
You can go find Ogle 3 if you want, or
No thanks.
all right.
What are you doing?
Hearing that, Drea's actually going to stop and she's going to turn almost like a little bit quickly. And she's going to say, Ogothri is in his study, which is just his room. He is dissecting things again. If you've a strong stomach, perhaps
not
you'll be
tonight.
fine,
Not tonight.
as
All
you
right,
wish.
well, rooms are over there.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna talk to Drea for a minute.
Okay. Have fun. Good night.
Morwen just disappears.
But I'm just like, when the coast is clear, like,
Okay, make a stealth check.
Suspicious. I'm like,
Cheshire
what's
cat
she
sound.
gonna? What's she going off to do right
For sure,
now?
yeah.
Last thing you see is the smile.
Yeah. I'm like, what is she going
a
off to do
whisker
right
shuts in the
now?
door.
She's either going to steal something or to like do something that's gonna fuck something up.
Just fucking something up.
31.
Okay.
She's so fucking something up.
Yeah, you don't even see the smile. It's gone. You just see Morwen turn around and go to bed. You hear the door open and shut. Morwen's in her room. And you turn and you follow Drea. She leaves the door open, hearing that you're going to talk to her. and you enter into the space, which is her workshop. It's a hexagonal room, pretty wide, almost 60 feet wide and fairly narrow. And you can see along the northern wall there are tool benches and all kinds of tools. The thing that she's working on is in the central bench. And you can see as she goes on, she turns this little knob and this gas lantern lights, shedding a soft glow across the table. On the table, you see covered in cloth, this long cylindrical object. But she turns and kind of leans up against the table. What do you wish to speak about?
What are you working on?
My project.
Well, what's it do?
This Aka is a bit more advanced than something that you could do.
Well, speaking of advanced, I met someone who you would probably be very interested in meeting. Have you heard of the name Valchrysix?
That is a strong draconic name, but no.
Well, he's a dragonborn who was imprisoned at the Cold Forge, which I went to. It exists.
She blinks a couple times, and then you see almost like the mouth opens in what is a dragonborn form of a grin, but it's almost like just baring teeth. And she laughs. The Cold Forge.
Yeah.
It's a legend.
It is a real thing, and I was there.
And yet you've returned.
And yet, I've returned. Yes. Oh, yeah. Where to begin? So you met Morwen, apparently. The rest of the group is more or less like that. A little less chaotic, but, pretty, more or less like that.
Damaged.
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
You must fit right in.
I feel
Well-
less alone.
Anyway, we met this Valchrysix who was at the Cold Forge, repaired the breaker. Yep, that is also a thing that exists. And he was a Thazarakian master. And he did not wish to train me or teach me anything. He was actually kind of an asshole. But he would probably get along with you because he was a racist asshole.
You see she smiles at this. Then you may be telling the truth.
Yeah.
You said a Fazarakian worker.
Yes.
He smiles. I've heard of an organization called the Pledge. What Dragonborn hasn't? I joined the Antiquities Collective because our purpose is the same, to ensure powerful artifacts don't fall into the hands of those who would misuse them.
That doesn't really sound like the organization that he would have been a part of, right? He was more like Dragonborn supremacy, kind of.
You do know what made the Skald great?
The dragons.
They wanted, so they took. They taught others what it is to desire. And with that, what it is to dream.
Well, I thought you might want to know about him because he was supposedly pretty talented. He helped us reforge the breaker.
She turns her head and kind of nods, and you're getting the sense without an insight check, she really doesn't believe you.
Yeah.
But she turns back to her project and kind of shakes her head. Did you bring this individual back?
Not for lack of trying, no.
So even if this was true, Aka, what would I do with this information?
Oh, try to find him and bring him back yourself. Like I said, he's kind of racist. He would probably really be into, meeting another Dragonborn.
There are not as many of us as there once was.
Yeah, he was pretty bummed about that too.
She
But-
turns back to you.
I also wanted you to take a look at this, and I take out with my not touching it telekinesis the shield from the
Okay.
Grey Lady.
She turns and she looks at it, and looking at it, immediately you see her eyes drawn to the material, this almost gold-like material. You see the eyebrow, or the eye ridge, almost this like scaly ridge that would be where an eyebrow is, kind of raised up a little bit, and she turns and kind of takes a few steps closer. She doesn't touch it either, but just seems to kind of analyze it. It is interesting. This is old.
You know what it is?
No. But it's of an old make.
Have you heard of the Grey Lady?
You know what? No.
Well,
She's been to a place where she might have learned something about it, but no.
I'm gonna
You know what?
fast forwarding through all of
I try to be
the
fair about it,
explanation of our previous adventures. I'm gonna be like, the Great Dwarves had taken over down in the Cold Forge, and the Grey Lady was trying to topple the regime that was controlling those Grey Dwarves. It was like 4 people, the Tholdor, blah 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 blah.
Okay. According to you, the long-lost, legendary Cold Forge has a city within it and around it,
Yep.
and you helped topple a government.
Well, yeah, I felt pretty bad about it though, to be fair.
To be fair.
But yeah, I mean, it all happened. I wouldn't be lying about it to you. You
She
could ask
doesn't,
Morwen,
she doesn't
too.
turn around at this, but she does sort of stop what she's doing and manipulating these little bits that she's kind of lining up, and she says, "There are many that believe you would."
Do you think I would?
Make an insight check.
Well, I'm asking her
I know.
to. I'm giving her like a
I know.
nice. That's a 26.
26.
Yikes.
She stops. She doesn't say anything. And the fact that she doesn't say that she doesn't believe you right off the bat gives you the idea that she probably does. She's not necessarily happy about that.
She trusts me.
Relatively.
So
With that
happy
roll,
about it.
with that roll, what I'll say is you get the sense that she has figured out that probably you did not steal anything.
Yeah.
She sort of wishes that you had,
Oh.
because it would justify a lot of what she's said about you already.
Well, that's fine. I'm like, so anyway, yeah, the Grey Lady gave me this, and I think it's probably cursed, and I didn't touch it. Mr. Gift didn't know what it was either.
She gestures to the side, and the quills kind of fall across the shoulder. Put it down over there. I will look at it when I have a chance.
Okay, thanks. What else? I guess that's really it for me. How have you been?
She turns back. Hang on. And she says, busy.
Yeah,
As
haven't
you've
we
been
all?
off making friends, we've all had
I mean-
our projects.
Not really my friends. They're kind of like,
You hear that also, for what it's worth. You hear all of this. You are presumably right around the corner.
I figured that was.
I feel like
obvious
their
what I was
heart's in the
doing.
right place, but they don't seem. I mean, surprise, surprise, they don't seem to trust me. But they're not super trustworthy either. So it's kind of a tenuous relationship.
As I said, it sounds as if you fit right in.
Well, Anyway, good to see you, Drea.
She kind of turns and says, in your adventures, have you happened across trace elements?
What was that?
In your adventures. She said, in
The
your
trace-
adventures, have you come across any trace elements?
Trace elements.
Yes.
Do I know what those are?
Yeah. Well, make an intelligence check. This is a high DC. This is real science.
15.
15. She turns, and this time you can see almost like gleefully, she smiles and says, Idiotaka. You want to know advanced things. Learn basics. Calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, magnesium.
Well, what? Yeah, but like trace elements of what and where? Just in my travels?
Specifically. Yeah, that's what she said. Along your adventures, have you come across any of these?
I guess I'm just not really sure why. And also, had we come across any of the trace elements?
No.
Like,
So trace element is
Right,
specifically like these very, very refined
just
elements.
residual, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like, I mean, I haven't been like looking for them in our journey. So would I have seen things that I would recognize as trace elements?
Make an intelligence check. You've picked up.
Because I
You
guess
have
I
picked
have.
up one. Although I believe at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, Heinrich has it because you have the vinegar.
Yeah. Oh, I have the alternating link chain.
I'm sorry.
The alternating links chain. It's got like a bunch of different metals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So in that,
So maybe that.
no.
I guess I would take that out and be like, I found this. Not really trace elements.
No.
You can have this if you want. Does it have? It's got a couple like more valuable metals in it, right?
Akka doesn't necessarily know. There's no stone cutting to Akka, and so specifically like the.
But like I recognized that there was like I think at least like a silver ring.
Yeah, and there's different
Stuff like-
materials.
yeah. Right,
The,
yeah,
the
yeah.
real the reasoning for the different materials
Right.
is certainly dwarven in nature, and so
Yeah.
it'd be difficult to discern why.
Yeah, so that's why I'm giving it to Drea, because like I don't know, it's a
Yeah.
bunch of materials.
She'll
She's
gesture
got
over
some
to the same desk and say, "Put it
more.
there."
Put it over there. All right. Well, I guess that's gonna go to sleep for a bit.
If you do come across any of those trace element antagonists, I do need them.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for them. My list of all the other stuff to keep eyes out for. You guys know I only have 2 eyes, right?
She nods and says, "But you are always out and about. You
Yeah.
seem to have so much time. You could also find me fast for siren and
Why don't you just write down your grocery list and I'll see what I can do.
She reaches over to the right and pulls off this piece of like papyrus and hands it to you.
Facetious.
On it, there is phasothyroxine oil. There is
Why don't you
trace
just send
elemental
that to me?
antagonists. And there's 20 grams of acetic acid, which is 2-ethyl-3-baranol acid.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. I'm gonna go sleep for a bit. Alright. Good to see you again, Drea.
You can see she just kind of gestures and continues with her work.
And then I'm gonna just crawl right into
Sure,
bed, like
yeah, no
under
problem.
the covers. I'm just like
What is your passive perception?
17.
Oh, wow, okay. That's changed relatively recently then, hasn't it?
No,
Oh, okay. That's higher than I remember it being. In that case,
you haven't asked in a while. I haven't like I'm
Yeah,
not the
As
perception
soon as
checker.
I leave
like
the room,
that's
also,
not my strong suit.
I'm gonna be
That's
like,
me.
alright,
Yeah.
go make sure that Morwen hasn't fucked everything up.
that's a fair thing to do.
I do have like my little like bed
Immediately-
set up out though.
Okay, you like do that first, and then you like go.
Like
and-
immediately.
Yeah, like like kid like putting the pillows under the bed in case anyone
Yeah.
checks.
Oh, of course.
Like
Yeah.
and then I'm
immediately
actually
getting out of the room
now.
and being like,
Understand.
okay, immediately go to check to make sure that Morwen is in her room.
Okay.
And on the way, be like looking in all of the dark little corners to be like,
Make a perception check.
I made you paranoid now.
With
She's
your-
everywhere.
With your passive perception, you do hear through one of the cracks in the doors the voice of Ogletree, who says, "No reverse, only stop. Always trying, not doing. Always trying, not doing."
I'm not gonna focus too much on that. I
and you
ain't
hear this
interested in
little-
that creepiness.
And then other little strange, kind of almost skittering sounds.
Yeah, no, I want no part of that. So
Fair enough.
go straight to
It was
bed.
a
I'm
natural
actually
20.
going quicker to
Natural
bed
20.
now.
Okay. You don't see anything. You look into these dark corners. You see no Morwen. However, you look at the ground, almost right where you stand out. And on this relatively clean ground, because Drea keeps her workshop very clean, there is cat hair.
I was up against the door like.
now, like, putting it all together, like, of course. I'm gonna go, like, straight back to the room, expecting Morwen to, like, be there or to just, like, have fucked off completely.
Sure.
And I'm just gonna go towards the room.
Okay.
And then go towards, which is also towards where I would.
Yeah,
sleep.
it's a line of
Yeah.
dormitories almost.
Yeah.
So you head off in that direction. But in this moment, I'm going to take us back to Heinrich and all of the events that are occurring in the Doontop Manor. So just a second here.
Of course. I was like, at least you didn't steal anything. Probably.
Probably. Yeah, and also with the natural 20, you notice that things are kind of in the same place. You're not,
Yeah.
you don't have to wonder.
No empty cases where very powerful items had been.
I just stole like a tiny bit of everything. No, I'm just kidding.
Why is there a brick missing?
Just a random like sunken patch of dirt. Like mine.
Ogletree comes out and smiles, and there's like teeth missing.
I don't know if that was like that before or... Hey, where's my doorknob?
You're like, oh, maybe I left it in my pocket. Where's my clothes? All right, hang on 1 second here. Da-da-da.
That would be wild. Stealing somebody's clothes off of them without them noticing.
You probably could.
That's
If someone
crazy.
has like a 6 perception and you have like a plus 10 sleight of hand, you could probably do it.
I
That'd
think.
be great. I have
Yeah.
a plus 15.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a pretty high sleight of hand too, but I don't think it's a plus 15. It's like an 8 or something.
That's just bonkers.
Oh, mine's a 9. That's not bad.
Not bad.
So, Heinrich, you and Nazara
like that
arrive
shirt.
back after about an hour of traveling through the rain, back up into the Doontop Manor.
Mm-hmm.
Before you even get up the stairs, you do see this elf kind of look down, definitely on guard, and then kind of pull away. You guys are able to enter up the central staircase into the stilted sandstone manor. The mayor kind of steps back and nods to all of you before taking his seat.
Mm-hmm.
The captives are still asleep.
Don't we have a new one?
You do. So you
Yeah.
have Benjon with you.
Yeah. Like we got.
Oh,
Yeah. We have another.
John Goodman.
I feel like we'd bring.
Is he still
Well-
gagged?
I don't remember. Is that where we left him?
I know he's still
assume so.
bound, and you guys were kind of holding him. You specifically were holding him
I
like
think
kind of close, so he
I
wasn't.
Yeah.
teleported it back. I'm not teleported.
No, you put it back on him, yeah.
Telekinesis it back.
Yeah. I don't
onto him
see a
before.
reason why we would need.
This is like,
have
all right,
taken
as,
it off,
as long
so-
as he's done talking.
So as
Yeah.
you say that,
Just like,
he-
here, this is Ben John. He's with the Midnight Assembly, which seems to be the group responsible. He can't wave.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah. It seems
just
to be
said,
the one
"Fuck you."
responsible. And this is like as we're walking in. I'm not like stopping.
Yeah, sure.
It's like walking towards the.
So Benjon
The-
just kind of like nods
Yeah.
to him as
I'm
he
just
walks by.
corroborating the story, not relating the story, about how we found them in the basement of the candy factory. I can't remember the name, Nazar. You've been here longer than me. You remember it.
Sunset Suites.
Yeah, that's the one. They killed everyone.
Billy
They took
Bonkers?
over there. They put all the bodies in the vault and trapped it. By the way, the vault's trapped. They say they don't open it. Nothing good's in there anyways. It's just gross and or abominable. Let's see, what else? Who's carrying the treasure chest? No, you opened it.
Yes.
You opened it, so that's fine. So you have all that stuff. Let's see. Yeah, and then here, once we drop Benjamin off, good night, Benjamin, just sort of like throw him in one of the doors.
John.
You hear kind of as he goes in,
John.
he just is like, and just looking down at this other unconscious individual.
Yeah.
But you put him in there and
Yeah.
shut the door.
Yeah. And yeah, so do we have like a table where you lay out plans? Anything?
You talk to Nazara?
Either of the two of them. Nazara or Thamir.
We've got some crates that we could use.
Sure, let's makeshift table it. There was a bunch of things that I found. I wanted to just sort of put it out here.
So you walk all the way around the exterior, almost hallways and great room of the structure, just past where previously Morwen had been taken to have a private conversation with Thamir. And through the last door, there are a couple of crates, and you can see across one what looks like maybe like a sheet of some kind, very makeshifty, almost like a food storage.
Yeah.
One of the crates is open, and you can see like grains and things of that nature. This is like very, very basics.
Yeah, that's fine. Make a table, and I'll put out the. Let's see here.
Yeah, you push 4 crates together.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. We've all seen the grotesque. I don't need to take that out again. I don't want to take it out again either because that's just gonna attract undead. So that's one thing. So just bear that in mind. The other things were. I'll pull out the 3 hand mirrors.
Okay.
The old book, Flora and Fauna of the Badlands, and then like the burned scraps of their like laundry list of things to do.
Okay.
And see if between the 3 of us, maybe over the next little while before I need to take a little rest because I never got one last
Sure.
night and I'm quite tired. Well, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Maybe we can sort of set on trying to decipher it, get the full list, and then I'll add what I actually extracted from them too, and I'll just like reach in my bag and pull out some paper
Okay.
and like a quill, because I do have those. I know that for sure. And I'll add down the 3 things that we were told by Tenson, who is the other prisoner
Okay.
that we have, which was the grotesque, some druid named Rex, their ritual scrolls, some of which are in Dungannon apparently. Oh wait, and then that's it. That's the 3rd one because Ash is dead. But they were trying to do a ritual. Yeah, so that's kind of everything we learned in this little jaunt here. Might also be why the candy stopped flowing.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Thamir thinks about this for a little bit and then begins to sort of shift these pieces of paper around.
Right.
You see after a little bit, suddenly these glyphs to life and form almost this lens over one eye that drifts maybe an inch above. And peers down, you see the teal light spill across the pages, and he begins to kind of move them around even more.
Yeah. I'll leave the pen and quill there and be like, you know what? If it's all right with you, if this, I know it's early, you probably just got up. I think I might need to just go recover something. When I got that grotesque, something touched me and I haven't really felt, 100% or in another number, 115 since then. More like a 107.
Thamir is going to smile and say, "Do you sleep?"
I rest?
Likewise.
Okay. Perfect. So let me go, I guess, meditate. Shay's tried to teach me that to some success. It's a little difficult. Not growing up in a monastic order, I think it's not easy to come by.
Shay is your monk friend.
Correct. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that for a bit and see if I can get myself back up to full. if you find anything, feel free to use the paper to write it down or whatever, because that's pretty hard to. I don't know. That paper is already pretty much gone.
He smiles as he like,
damaged burned
rearranges
paper.
them, and you can see now there are patterns to the edges that are forming as he puts them together. But he does smile a little bit. Eyesight is something that I have quite well.
That's why I brought it back to you.
I'll see what I can find.
Thank you. And I'm gonna fuck off down the hall.
All right, you fuck off.
And try to rest the full amount and see if my hit point maximum goes back up to full.
Sure. You rest, and like after about an hour, you would hear this kind of ding dong, ding
What is it?
dong.
Yeah.
You would actually hear Thamir get up and walk towards the door, and then you would hear a couple of footsteps come up and heavy breathing, not from Shay, but from this like other, a different voice you haven't heard previously. But Shay, when you do walk up the stairs, you see Thamir kind of look the head down and then gesture away, and the two of you rise up into the sandstone structure.
Looking up, where's Nazara?
Nazara is actually further down the hall, so you wouldn't see Heinrich, but kind of in the corner of the great room, looking out into this huge bay window that overlooks the Emerald Expanse.
Headed straight over.
Okay.
And going to recount this entire encounter.
So she turns, and as she does, her eyes kind of narrow a little bit, and you hear her say, "Sybil." And then Sybil, this little sleepy-looking half-elf, now that you're in the light, and she kind of pulls this down. It is very dim lighting here. You take the mask off, though?
Yeah.
Okay. She turns, you see the eyes now back to being kind of very sleepy. She smiles and just says, "You're part of the watch." And Nazara nods. And she smiles and just says, "I used to believe in gods too." And she nods a little bit and turns to you and says, "Thank you for helping me. I didn't really need help. I'm sorry. I'm Sybil." And she holds out a hand.
Yes, we met outside.
She's very, very soft, this hand. Like this is a scholar, perhaps. But she smiles and says, "I'm kind of an unusual cleric, but I can make the undead turn. Most of them."
Good to know.
She smiles and says, "Is there anything else that you need? I would like to talk to you about your scars."
Need? No. Just wanted to make sure that what was out there didn't hurt you.
I've been okay for a long time, although I am curious. My church, as much as it is one, it is technically hallowed ground. There have been dead buried there for some time, and they haven't reacted that way, so that is curious.
I would have described this abnormal one to both her and Nazara.
Okay. You see Nazara looks a lot more concerned than the scholar, who looks kind of fascinated, really. And she, kind of has to blink a couple times, almost like falling asleep as you're talking. But
Looking at her, you walked right by it.
smiles and goes, "I'm a little tired. I was walking a friend home. We had a fascinating discussion late into the night, and he's not gifted in the same way that I am, so I had to make sure he was okay."
I can respect that.
Nazara is just sort of watching this interaction. And Heinrich, for what it's worth, you can hear all this. Maybe 40 feet away.
I'm desperately trying to get this rest.
Fair
though.
enough. So you just let it pass. So over the course of the next maybe hour or two, between Nazara and Sybil, you get the sense that they maybe not have met. Nazara is aware of who Sybil is. And that, in your mind, means that at the very least, that this individual has bared a little bit of watching on. But Sybil doesn't necessarily seem to know exactly who Nazara is. She's aware of the watch.
Okay.
Let's see. What's the best way to do this? When you guys break up, it's difficult.
Yep.
What are you attempting to do over the course of this
I mean,
next couple
relay
hours?
as much of the conversation or as much of the detail as possible So that theoretically, if Nazar has someone who's fresher than I am, they can go out and scout it out.
Zara kind of, so listening to all of this, kind of puts it together and goes, okay. Just a moment. And she disappears off. Heinrich, you hear her footsteps walk past your room and then into the one next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Give me just a second because I forget this gentleman's name. Okay. So you hear her open the door and speak out, Perdo. And you hear this kind of sleepy halfling answer and kind of almost coming to out of this trance, which you were very familiar with, Heinrich. Yes. And she says, she basically just relays all the same information. So you hear in the sleepy sort of way what Shay had recounted to Nazara, secondhand.
Mm-hmm.
And Perdo just kind of, you hear him shift around a little bit before pulling this maybe cloak on, and then footsteps head out past the door. You see Perdo, who kind of smiles to you. There's fish if you would like any.
Thank you.
And he pulls this up and heads down the stairs and out into the storm. And Zara looks at you. He's odd, but Perdo is, like all of us, a member of the Watch. He'll find what you're looking for, if it's still out there.
It's curious, given everything that's going on, and probably important.
Yes. She looks at Sybil. I don't necessarily understand your stance. The gods are active and real in this world. And Sybil kind of shrugs. Well, what you call gods are really just science. You just don't really know how to explain it yet, but that's okay. And she kind of smiles. And there is a little bit of
Condescension?
condescension. Thank you. I couldn't think. I was thinking.
Condensation.
Yeah, I was stuck on the condensation.
There's a lot of moisture in this one.
Yeah, a lot of moisture in this conversation, but a condensation in this conversation. But that's what you get. Perdo heads out into the rain. Some time passes. Are you going to head out to sleep, or?
Yes. I'll offer Sybil a chance to come chat for like 30 minutes if she wants.
Yeah, absolutely. So she goes with you, kind of a little bit excitedly. You head off into one of these side rooms. Heinrich, you asleep in a room maybe 10 feet, or not asleep, in trance maybe 10 feet away.
In sort of trance, not even quite really. I mean, I'm reading Elvish and then listening and then reading Elvish.
Yeah, so you can kind of like hear this, because this is maybe just through the door for you.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I hope you don't mind. I'm just looking at your desk here.
she turns and kind of gestures for your arm. May I see?
Hold it out.
Okay. She looks at it and kind of pokes and prods. You know, in some of the reading that I've done, marks like this are attributed to these powerful things. Typically, the nature of such objects means you can withdraw the power from it and apply it to something different. You wouldn't still have whatever it is that did this, would you?
I do.
Would you have any interest in having maybe these effects reversed and something altered? I've always wanted to work with things of that power.
I'm not even sure I totally understand everything it does on its own. So at this moment, I don't know.
Well, it sounds like it would really be good to study.
Certainly.
Well, think about it. Not to brag, but I can cast a few spells, and maybe I can help you out down the road.
I'll take you up on that.
Thanks. You know where to find me. I live kind of in the in-between space between the bell tower and the, it's called the Philosopher's Church. You're welcome anytime. Shay?
Yes.
Okay. Shay, I'm Sybil.
Nice to meet you, Sybil.
She holds out a hand again for the third time. You kind of shake it and
Slap it away.
she blinks a little bit and yawns. I'm gonna get back. It's almost light out now.
Yes. Do be careful.
She nods. I can turn undead, remember?
Yes.
She turns and heads back, and you hear over your shoulder, or over her shoulder, as she walks, almost beginning to go down the stairs. So forgetful. And just heads down into the rain. But if you wish, you can find a place to rest.
Yes.
Heinrich, you can mark off a long rest.
Yay.
Shay, you can mark off a long rest.
What happens to my hit point maximum?
After the long rest, your hit point maximum returns to what it was. It's not a permanent effect.
I figured.
It is until the end of a long rest.
Okay. That's why I wanted to nail that one down. I tried 2 and we kept not getting them.
Yeah. Akka and Morwen. Or Akka, as you go back and check in on Morwen, you... okay, make a performance check, Morwen.
I'm gonna get up to the door and just kind of like.
For what it's worth,
Creak it
no one
open
gets
very-
temporary hit
very-
points.
All right, so dirty 20.
Dirty 20,
like,
okay.
Poke my head in, make sure she's in there.
No one gets temporary hit points from you because you're not near me.
You poke
Not
your head
even
in,
Well, I don't
and
know
you
how
see
Oh, I
kind
don't-
of curled up,
Interesting.
sleeping roll pulled over, this poster kind of crumpled
I
and
have to see
wrinkled, and
when I wake up.
Morwen's kind of
Probably
rolled
nothing.
onto it, so you just see these beady little dwarf eyes kind of like faded in the poster, kind of glaring out with this weird cocky smile.
Pajamas are on.
Okay, so you see this like bright pink. Is bright pink, right?
It's yellow with bright pink smiley
right.
face,
So
faces.
it's a
Faces.
bright faces. It's a bright yellow. It's a bright yellow armor with these pink little smiley faces splashed across it, and you see Morwen just sleepily kind of turn away as the light creaks in from the door.
I'm just trying to act casual. I'm like, oi! Shut the door! I don't.
The voices.
Like, Morwen. Any response?
I'll give a little like ear twitch. Like,
Well, if there's anything you wanted to ask me before I went to bed, now is
I
the
start
time.
snoring.
Shut the door and go
You
to
shut
bed.
the door.
And mind you, I'm under the covers, but my eyes are like open the whole time.
Yeah.
Just like,
You hear the door
cool,
shut,
be
and
cool.
you hear Akka's armored bootsteps walk away and down the hall.
okay, now I'll actually sleep.
Morwen, you can mark off a long rest.
I'm gonna meditate, sleep.
You can mark off a long rest as well. The night passes, and over the course of the night, really the early morning,
Yeah, I'm sleeping till like midday, I think.
yeah, all of you are sleeping till it's going to be right around.
Yeah, like 4 hours is like 10 a.m. for me. And then 4
yeah,
more
for
hours
everybody
of, like,
else, it's
idle.
gonna be about like 2 in the afternoon that you wake
Perfect.
up.
We could meet up earlier.
Perfect.
Akka, as you do
Cycle.
wake up at around 10 in the morning, you wake up when the grayness is still there, but the rain has stopped. And looking out, the ground's still damp. It is fairly cool out, and so not a lot of evaporation occurring. You can see here and there little stretches of gray-blue sky as the morning begins to come in, and the clouds begin to drift off and into this kind of western wind off. And you see to the west, if you look out these huge bay windows. Oh no, you wouldn't, because you're not in the Dune Top Manor.
No, I'm in
You see no
the-
manor. You see no windows.
You
You
see
see
I'm in the
nothing.
museum.
You see nothing.
but you don't hear the sound of the rain against the walls above you.
I guess I would go give my morning report of everything that happened at the candy factory to Mr. Gift.
Okay.
I'm gonna wake up and eavesdrop. No, I don't. I'm just kidding. you guys have this one. I'm sleeping.
Fair enough.
He's saying things
So
you
you
already
go
know.
over, and in the entryway that you had come into previously, you see Thrasos Gift, who looks quite anxious and as if he has not slept very well. He has a number of papers spread out in front of him. You see this untouched, almost like half a heel of bread sitting on a plate next to him, but buried in whatever it is that he's doing. He glances up for a moment and goes, "Hi, Akka," and turns back to what he's doing.
Hey, so yeah, about last night with the watch. I'm gonna explain how we went to the
Okay.
candy factory and
So-
found out about the cult and how we're probably
Everybody's
gonna go.
catching everybody up.
Probably gonna be
Heinrich pulls out the
taken
sending stone.
west
Yeah.
now to go to the temple and all
Hey,
that.
Shalites, you'll never guess what happened.
Let me get somebody on a group call.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody now knows.
Right.
But you catch him up.
Yeah.
He nods, and at first you see he's still working, but over the course of the time, as you say a few things, he stops and kind of, especially when you talk about the items,
Yeah.
he turns the pages that he's working on towards you, and you look at it. There's a number of different things written on it, but Mr. Gift says, I'm working on trying to track all these things, and some of them are maybe related to what you're talking about. The black market for components, things that haven't been available or new, has become flooded lately. Dragons back in, so dragon blood, dragon scales, Shrenu kidneys, elemental ice, vampire blood. These are being purchased in pretty big quantities, and I'm thinking, based on what everybody said last night, we don't really know who is working with Zeistries, but I'm guessing if we can track these things, we can figure out what organizations or what influential people, anyways, those with access to means, who might be in his pocket, so to speak. I don't think it's a gold thing.
And you're talking about someone within the city, or?
Across most of Dominion, as far as I can tell.
Okay. Well, give me your grocery list.
Oh, and he takes out another piece of paper and kind of very carefully copies it over. The list is
Run into the store. What do you want?
Here, hold on.
Wyvern Venom, Dragon Glands, Dragon Scales, Golden Eyes, Ever Weeping Eyes.
All right, why don't you just write
Wow.
it down for me?
This
I
is
have, like,
more for
half of
everybody
that.
else. Shrenu Kidneys, Elemental Ice, Vampire
Missing the
Blood,
kidneys.
and Red Bone Dust. Many of these things are available for the first time in centuries, and so I'm worried we're going to be seeing some more rituals that we haven't seen in some time begin to spring up.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll look for these two after we go to the temple. While we're going to the temple, I don't know. I guess I'll keep my eye out for these things as well.
As well as what?
Well, as well as all the other stuff that we've been talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're going to the temple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that's where they want to go. Because that's where the cultist said he could lead us.
I've done a little bit of reading. I haven't had time really to look too much into the temple, but if I can come up with anything that would be helpful in terms of some of the things that might be there, I can tell you what I can find.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go meet up with the rest of the group and let you know if we're heading towards the temple before we go.
Do you have any way of reaching out to me?
I could make another homunculus, but
It'll take some time.
yeah.
Here, and he kind of pulls out this huge ring of keys. And for such a little man, you see actually the muscles in his forearms, or whatever there is of muscles. He's not terribly strong. They like flex holding this key ring because it's huge. And he begins to shift these small keys on it, one by one by one, until he finds one and pulls it off the ring. Take this, and you'll be able to contact really whoever you want. Only once a day, but it's useful.
All right. I'll take it,
Okay, so
assuming that he...
yeah, there's
Not
a
giving
number
me
and a
anything
letter on
bad.
the key, and so you can use that to track in the archives what item it goes to.
All right. I will go do so and then see if Morwen is awake at that point.
Okay, so you go stopping off at Morwen's first. Morwen would still be asleep, as it is only about 11 a.m. at this point.
All right. Then I would go figure out what the item is that he gave me from
Okay.
the inventory and
Easy enough.
go
You
have
walk
breakfast.
down. Yeah, and I mean, this is the place that you work.
Yeah.
This is essentially the Dewey Decimal System. And so
Yeah.
looking at the numbers and the letters, you quickly locate this object. Not located in one of the really secure vaults, however, in kind of one of the hallways leading to a series. If you think about like Gringotts Bank almost, this is like the pathway to all the vaults. There are a few things stored along the way. one of these is this sort of almost like a high school locker sized vertical cabinet. And it has a little padlock on it that you would see the key would fit into. And opening that and swinging the door open, within there is a roughly 6-inch long piece of copper wire. You see the little symbol underneath it, and you could, if you wanted, match that to the missive of what that is, or you could attempt to discern what it does on your own. But you can pull this little copper wire out.
All right. Yeah, I guess I'll try to discern what it is, and then...
Are you casting it? Are you just going to try to figure it out with your knowledge of the arcane?
Yeah.
Make an Arcana check.
I think that's a 24.
24. You think back to some of the things that you've seen, and you remember you've seen sending stones before. This almost works like that, although you'd imagine it's tied to a specific spell. And in it working only once a day, you would imagine not a necessarily rare item, probably like an uncommon wondrous item.
Okay. Cool. Then I would remember that I have Ortude's axe.
Mhm.
I would go drop that off at the forge.
Ortude's axe?
Ortiz.
Oh, okay. Ortiz's axe. Ortude is the orc druid of the sands.
Yeah,
I wrote
like,
it as Ortiz.
years ago.
Like
Sure,
big
sure.
poppy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's Ortiz.
Yep, big poppy's
U-R-T-I-Z. Yeah. So you take that axe. What are you doing with it?
I'm gonna bring it to the forge to give to Drea as well. 'Cause, like, what am I gonna do with this big axe?
Okay.
See what that is, and
You-
see if she found
Sure.
out anything about the
So
items.
going down, you see the shield untouched, the link untouched. However, the cloth drawn away from the project that she was working on. So you're able to get a little bit more of a glimpse as to what it is. Just one second. You see laid out on this workspace, it's a cylinder. You can see within the cylinder, there are a number of components, and it looks actually almost like, as you see these little metal braces that go off the sides, almost like a very chunky spinal column. And these sort of cylinders that form almost like vertebrae, each one seems to have like compartments in it. But she turns and kind of looks, she's at the axe that you're holding. That is poison.
Telekinesis it
Yeah.
into the pile.
She,
I forgot to give you this.
You see
yesterday.
her eyes, the draconic eyes, follow it as it drifts across her field of view. She squints. Not one that I recognize.
That was from one of the Tholdor, from, the Cold Forge, who was in power before
The Lady Dwarfs.
the Grey Lady.
Grey Lady.
Yeah. She
The lady dwarf.
contracted the group that I'm currently working with, adjacent to, were contracted to kill, thus toppling the regime. Like I
You
told
see,
you.
she's just like nodding her head, the eyes glaze
So
over a little
this
bit.
was from one of the warlords who, I guess, ran an arena and also was one of the 4 council members who controlled the city.
That you helped overthrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, felt pretty bad about it because didn't really want to be there at all. But I got all this stuff, so there you go. All right, I'm gonna have breakfast.
Aka, this is almost useless. Have a good breakfast.
Melt it down for parts.
Turns back to doing what she's doing. For what it's worth, you've seen items similar to what she's working on. This is far more advanced than what you've seen. You've seen basic all-purpose tools before, but this seems to be a little bit more advanced.
It's like a multi-tool, like a super multi-tool.
So an all-purpose tool in the hands of an artificer, it can turn into any tool set,
Okay.
and you will have proficiency with that tool set. it's a pretty great skill, pretty great item. They're difficult to make, and the ones that you've seen are relatively mundane. There are components to this that definitely seem magical.
On my way out, I'd be like, I bet that Val Chrysix could help you with the project you're working on.
She turns and kind of looks towards your pockets and says, and if you haven't lost my list, you could help too.
Yeah, I got the list. I'm gonna hold it up as I'm walking out.
Roll a D100.
Shoot. Burn the list. Good luck helping me now.
She doesn't have fire breath.
72.
72? Okay. You pull out her list, not the list that Gift gave you, and kind of wave it around.
And I'm leaving to go have breakfast.
All right, you leave to go have breakfast.
Get ready to meet up with Heinrich and Shay and
Okay.
Nazara.
Are you heading out there to go meet up with them?
Well, I'm going to have breakfast first. I'm going to wait for Morwen to wake up. And
Okay.
then
You wait an hour, and another, and
Okay.
another, and she's still not up.
I would probably like
You can come
read a
wake
book
me
or
up.
something. I don't know. I guess once it got to the point where it's like, all right, they're probably waiting for us. I'd go wake up Morwen. and be
So
like,
around
"Morwen,
noon, you go over and
Morwen.
find her back.
it's noon.
So,
So Heinrich and Shay are probably waiting.
what else is new?
They're your friends. You just gotta go get up and get them.
Yeah, they're my
that's
friends, so
breakfast.
wait.
Hey,
Did
no,
you bring
just-
any coffee?
No, it's in the other room. You gotta get up and get it.
Did you bring any beer?
No, it's also in the other room. You gotta get up and get it.
Can you get me some food?
No, you gotta get up and get it. Get up, get up, get up.
You see Morwen like Frankenstein lurch up in bed. The poster like off the edge of the bed. This skull like rolls off to the edge, and Morwen's tail almost absentmindedly just grabs it off before it falls. Morwen's hair like puffed out.
Did you have a nice sleep?
Yes, I was having wonderful dreams. Thank you very much.
Get
for
up!
interrupting.
Get up!
And so
This is me putting my stuff away.
like deconstruct this elaborate shrine that you build every
I'm
night
making
before
sure
sleep.
that she's not putting anything that's not hers in as she's putting them all away.
You also see me too, like I'm fitting everything in my bag, and I have to like take out Priscilla, rearrange.
This mind flayer skull just finds its way
Yeah.
onto the ground.
And I'm just like, well, now my money's all at the bottom, and just fat stack real quick.
It's like
Roll
30
up the
pieces of
poster
gold. just
very
rolled
delicately,
onto
and then I'm just like, shove it to the bottom. Want my money near the top.
It's about
Priscilla, back
12:30.
in there, Frank. You know what to do. He's right on top.
Telekinesis, just pick up everything that's still out and shove it into the bag and be like, let's go! Let's go!
I'm going, but at my own pace.
the ground. Morwen very, very distinctly stands up slowly, slower than you've
I'm
ever seen.
after a
Morwen.
cat, you're trying to get
Telekinesis.
inside, and I'm like, right
Telekinesis
outside.
some of the breakfast into the room and just at Morwen. Like, eat this and let's go!
Are you throwing food at my face?
I'm throwing a fried egg at your face.
Can I catch it?
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Cool. What is my... A 12.
So you watch, Akka turns, gestures a hand out, and these beautiful calligraphy-like marks swirl around the wrist. And suddenly, as he pulls his hand back, you see this small, dripping object like accelerate towards you. And as anyone would do, you just open your mouth and you take it right in the cheek. The yolk up, and you have to close your eye instinctively as like the yolk begins to like drip down and into your whiskers.
Have your breakfast and let's go!
Morwen just gets up and starts eating.
At least she's up.
I'm going to have a few more eggs, though.
Okay, so as you get to the... at around 1
I
p.m.
have 2 yolks, and they're just like...
Classic.
At around 1 p.m., you can emerge out from the Touffet Museum into what is now.
I definitely washed my face.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Morwen, it's like a slightly glistening
No, you
face
use your
now.
tongue and do like the
The
windshield wiper the
Scooby-Doo,
whole
yeah.
thing.
But as you make your way out into the streets of Dungannon, now in the middle of the day, and before we cut back to what Heinrich and Shay are doing, this is where we're going to take our break, because it is 10:05. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for Adventures in Alberon session 90 so far. Thank you for Talon for redeeming some points and giving us our first wheel, which was not having. So yeah, it was
Not
going to
having to
be a
deal with
much
fucking
grosser scene. Yeah, you guys would have gotten to see what
Fucking
Ogle 3 is doing.
Man, fuck that guy.
But instead, you got a little Drea time. So there you go. Thank you, Talon, for that. And thank you for everybody for watching and hanging out and doing the channel points, the subscriptions, all that stuff. It actually helps out a ton. It's why we can get like cool little 3D terrain and all the art that you can see going in the roll in just a second. However, it is 10:06. We will be back at, let's call it 10:20. We'll see you then. And howdy, folks. Welcome back to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D game. Miles, could you do me a favor? Slowly. My camera has been shifting.
Yeah. Every time Matt bumps the table, I think.
Yeah, because I think it's because
You know what, I'm gonna turn the base.
yeah, that's the
Oh, you
easiest
mean
thing.
it's not you just leaning away?
I was like, slowly I've been like moving in this
Yeah.
direction. I can't figure out why.
Anytime the
The
table's
Earth's
agitated, the
rotation
tape's
has-
just like.
We just-
Joe
like-
ends up like right here.
Yeah, we just need to like tape it. I think with a cord to the arm later. But we'll do that later. Anyways, welcome back to Adventures in Alberon, our very professional D&D campaign. Thank you for hanging out with us for this session 90 of our campaign so far. If you are just joining us, we began with Shay in the rainy rooftop church in the Philosopher's Church. You saw this individual walking down the street, belayed by these undead, and intervened, grabbing them and moving them so rapidly through the streets that you actually left their breath behind, bringing them to the Dunetop Manor, where you reunited with Heinrich, Nazara, and the rest of Uriel's watch, the rangers from the north who follow the planetar angel Uriel, who himself is a messenger for Helm. You, Akka, and Morwen made your way back to the Dungannon Antiquities Collective. There you, through fortunate circumstances, provided by Talon, thank you, managed to find Drea and interact with her briefly. She didn't believe you for most of your tale, though you did find out that she believed that you did not steal anything from the collective. Throughout the night, you retold the tale of all of you going to this pawn shop and fighting the undead to almost every minor NPC in Dungannon. You told everybody in Uriel's watch, everybody in the Antiquities Collective. There's a lot of time spent recapping. You all found sleep at various points. Morwen, you after eavesdropping on Akka's conversation with Drea, the Dragonborn
My
artificer.
favorite activity
Yeah,
before bed
eavesdropping.
activity.
It's like listening to a podcast.
I really want to do an NPR version of Drea. Yeah, so you all found morning eventually, getting that long rest. Heinrich, your health returning to what it had been previously. At the moment, Akka, Morwen, the two of you, I don't know what you guys just sent in the group text. I see pictures, that's all I see.
Okay.
Later. Akka,
I unloaded a bunch of stuff too.
that's true.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that in a second.
Yeah.
But Heinrich, you spread out the documents and the various items that you'd recovered from the members of the Midnight Assembly that you'd come. What are you laughing at?
You'll know.
It's not relevant
It's not relevant.
at all.
This is what I deal with. Akka, you and Morwen, through some circumstance, managed to, by 1 p.m., find your way into the streets of Dungannon, where we will begin. Just 1 second.
Do we want to do the question now, or you want to do the question at the end?
Also, so yeah, Tom, thank you very much for redeeming points to ask Shay a question. We will get to that question at the end of the session, just for sake of ease.
Oh my gosh.
That really got you.
Face first, and I scrolled up. I shouldn't have scrolled up.
Akka, Morwen, the two of you make your way out into the busy streets. Where are you going? As I look and see what has befouled our group text. It's literally a cabbage on a stick.
But it's also cabbage. Anywho, so
Ellie's specialty is just derailing any conversation.
cabbage is a great way to start.
You walk down the cobblestone
So
streets.
I would like to. What I want to do today is How many days has it been? Or how many days until it's? I am expecting the Mud Brothers to arrive.
About 4 or 5.
Okay, so since this is like the longest time I can anticipate actually being somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write row and actually be like, no, I actually might get your letter back. If
Okay.
you write me back. So I want to find someone that can.
Post haste,
Yeah.
get it there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you would know in Dungannon there is a postal service,
Yes.
and not only does it service Dungannon but also the area around. Give me just one sec to pull that up. Akka, are you looking for anything over the course of this time?
I would probably just start heading
Where did you?
towards where I know Heinrich and
Okay.
Shay to be.
So you begin to walk across the Anchor Mesa and over towards the Doontop Manor on the opposite side of the that section.
Like, I'm going to meet up with Shay and Heinrich.
Okay,
You're coming?
eventually. Yeah. I just got some stuff to do first.
It is a
What
2-hour
stuff?
walk, so you guys aren't going to get there till 3
Yeah,
p.m.
what stuff?
I gotta send some mail out, and then I was gonna check the.
Is there a
what is the bar?
postal
What is my bar
service
called?
on the way?
So both of you, being from Dungannon, would know that there are 2 separate postal branches. One for Upper Dungannon, where you currently are, and one for Lower Dungannon and the surrounding regions.
Okay.
1 copper piece will get you a message delivered anywhere in Dungannon, so long as you can describe an individual and know the neighborhood they'll be in. 5 copper pieces will get your message delivered anywhere within Dungannon's territory, from as far south as Port Zeiss to as far north as the Bloodroot Sanctuary. And a parcel can be delivered locally for 1 silver piece and anywhere in territory for 1 gold piece.
Okay. And is the one in Upper on the way towards where Heinrich
Nope,
and
it's
Shay-
in Nasus, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I was thinking of going to the lower one, and I was gonna stop by the Verdant Ogre and have a beer. Wanna
That
come?
would-
And we'll see you tomorrow.
It's already 1 p.m.
Yeah, we were up till 5.
Yeah, but you're gonna go drink in the morning?
Okay, fine. We'll go
In
now,
the
but you owe me
early
one.
afternoon?
Yeah, it's not the morning anymore. I slept through that.
Yeah,
I
but
woke up just in time.
For a drink.
do you
yeah.
not remember the undead abominations that we fought last night?
Yeah, but you're acting like. Is this your first time?
I have lists. We have
Let me see
temples
them. Let
to
me
go
see these
to.
lists.
No.
Morwen, make an
No.
intelligence check as you try to read them.
Well, I guess I have to get them first.
I'm not
Oh, okay,
letting her
so,
get them unless she.
Make competing athletic checks.
Athletics. Okay. Bullshit.
I figured it would be a
Sleight of
deft
hand.
sleight of hand situation.
It would be sleight of hand if you were like taking it out of Akka's pocket, but because he's trying to pull it away and you're trying to grab it, it's going to be.
17.
Ooh, I got an 18.
So when you lunge forwards and as you stretch out your paw,
No, I don't.
sneak attack.
Yeah.
No way. I anticipate.
You pull it away and you still have your lists.
Well, then read them to me. I might have the shit you're looking for.
And then I'm gonna be like, all right, do you have?
Okay.
I do have some of that stuff.
Yeah. So specifically, Morwen, if I remember correctly.
And I'm gonna.
I have
read,
a lot of wyvern
okay,
stuff.
I'm gonna read the list from Drea first,
Okay.
and then the list of Mr. Gift. If I am sufficiently surprised that Morwen actually has some of the stuff on the list.
So from Drea, Akka reads off phasotyrosine oil. You don't have any of that. Trace elemental antagonists. Don't know what that is. 20 grams of acetic acid, 2-ethyl, 3-methyl butaic acid, stabilized in aguardiente.
I mean, I have poison.
Doesn't seem like you have any of that stuff. So Akka pulls out the next list, which is from Mr. Gift. This list has Wyvern Venom.
I believe I actually do have Wyvern Venom.
Somebody does have Wyvern Venom. I don't know.
Oh, I might have had the
Maybe
Wyvern.
maybe in Calypso's.
Would the venom be in the teeth?
No. Very specifically, you guys found the gland and you harvested out of that.
Darn. Oh! I have a full jar of Wyvern Venom.
Yes, you do. So you have that. Dragon glands.
Glands.
Don't have any glands, unfortunately. Dragon scales.
I have dragon scales.
Golden eyes.
No, I'm just kidding. Mine are yellow.
Ever weeping eyes. Shrenu kidneys.
Wait. Didn't you have a jar of eyes?
Yeah, I
you
sold it
gave
for
it-
my chinchilla spoon. Little
You
grabbies.
gave it as a snack.
Little grabbies.
Do you say little grubbies?
No, I just, well, yes, but then it goes back. Like I do it twice, so it's like pew pew.
So the first time
Eating
you
them like
say it, you
candies.
feel in your bag suddenly the bag like shrinks slightly, and you feel like movement, and then you go little grabbies, and suddenly it fills the space again.
That was a close one.
Yeah. Elemental ice, vampire's blood, and red bone dust.
Just the wyvern and dragon scales.
Well, can I have them? Could you give them to Mr. Gift? Can I trade you for them?
Maybe. Let's talk about it over a beer later. That's where I do my best negotiating.
All right. How about beers on me, and we'll talk about you giving me those items.
Trades.
Trades. Yeah.
Trades.
Trades.
No
Over
gifts.
drinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll buy the drinks,
And I'll think about it.
and you think about it.
I like this plan.
You make your way through the anchor. Morwen, are you heading to the Verdant Ogre and the post office on your way?
No, I won't be a douche. I'll follow along. I'll play along for now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you guys begin your 2-hour walk to the Doomsday Manor. As Lynn does.
More awkward conversation for tonight.
So do you have a favorite color?
So I'm gonna just explain how I got the wyvern stuff. Like, you know, it was just really awkward because it's like wyvern came out of nowhere. And, like, I was like kind of hooking up with like this Aarakocra. I didn't want him to like find out. Like, it wasn't my idea, you know, with the wyvern. And the wyvern was just like, nah, we're going on a date now. And then like picked me up. And like we were in the sky and it was terrifying. And then like, you know, Heinrich knew I wasn't totally into this date, so like he joined. And then like he teleported us back, and I was really, really scared because we were falling. So I kind of kissed Heinrich while shitting my pants. And so, long story short, that's how I got all this wyvern stuff.
So the wyvern teleported you?
No, Heinrich did. With the poop in my pants. He teleported all of it.
Is it at about this time that they arrive at the house?
No. This conversation.
5 minutes. The length of time it just took me is how long it's been.
This conversation goes on for 2 hours as you walk across the anchor through crowded streets as people talk and chat around you. You talk about these things. You see people give you strange glances as you talk about pooping yourself.
Was that involuntary?
Yeah. I was falling from the sky really high up. It wasn't a good date.
Who? You were dating the wyvern?
No,
Or the
I was dating the...
Aarakocra?
Yeah, that one. Karotic, you met him.
Oh.
Came on a little too strong, though, you know what I mean?
And you pooped your pants.
Well, that's because I was falling. I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, but you're with an Aarakocra. They can fly.
No, he wasn't there.
But the wyvern was there, and the wyvern picked you up. Okay. This is all... Okay, Jeez. How far away are we at this point?
About an hour away. We can fast forward through that, though.
Hey, Morwen, let's play a game.
No. Yeah.
How about we'll see who can be the quietest the longest. And whoever can be as quiet as possible before we get to Heinrich gets to sneak up on him and spook him. Can you be super quiet and sneak up on Heinrich?
Stealth mode, and I'm gonna run.
Make a stealth check. At disadvantage as you're sprinting.
I mean, you still.
I still can't be lower than I think like a 22 or
25.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a 26.
At disadvantage.
You say like, "Can you be quiet and sneak up on Heinrich?" You see Morwen's face kind of blank for a second, and then smiles, and then somebody walks past, and Morwen's gone. Morwen, as soon as this person walks past, you like stick to the shadows and begin to move between people and like the buildings. You slip into alleyways. Akka is like gone, has lost you completely at this point, and you begin to run. You make people kind of like turn to watch as you like sprint past, but Akka has no idea where you are. You are going to make it there a little faster.
Yeah.
Yes. Just like walking down the street like.
Akka goes and gets a beer. So you will make it there about 20 minutes before Akka. And so that is where we can kind of catch up. More when you, like breathing kind of heavy, like pull up to a stop outside the Dune Top Manor. You can see for just a moment from the top of the staircase, Thamir kind of look and then turn. Heinrich, you guys still up in the Dune Top Manor. Thamir is going to turn and say, "Your friends have returned."
And I'm running in there like,
Good.
Heinrich!
Morwen.
Get out here! Come
What?
here!
Well, okay, sure.
Come here!
All right.
Hurry up!
I'm walking down.
Hurry! Faster!
I'm
You
just
see
walking
Thamir just
down.
gives you kind of a curious look as you walk past.
I'll let them in, and then I'll just go walk downstairs.
Okay. So since I got here before Akka, you have to make you know those little like banners. Make sure to have one ready that says "loser" right when he comes. Okay. And say you were super scared when I came in. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
That seems rude and confusing.
No. It's all the game. I won. I need him to know that.
Okay.
You
Sure.
do that?
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Okay. We're gonna wait.
Wait like 5 minutes. People walking by. 10 minutes.
I'm just gonna turn and walk back upstairs.
Okay.
Like we were working on something important, and
He'll be here any minute.
okay.
This is also important,
10
Heinrich.
minutes later.
It's important to me.
Can I like? I can't like cast delay spells. Damn it.
What are you trying to do?
Well, I would try to like cast it. So like, what is it? What's the duration of my illusion here?
I think it's instantaneous because it's a magical effect.
Yeah, but like concentration on it because it can last.
Oh,
Oh no, just duration 1 minute, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I kind of. Can you do can you thaumaturgy the noise like SpongeBob with the loser?
I'm just turning and walking upstairs.
Right.
Whatever you and Akka have, you can settle between yourselves.
Whatever. I thought you liked fun,
something.
Heinrich. Excuse me.
We were working on something important.
Yeah. Well, so was I.
Right.
Which was
And
getting
you can
here
resolve-
quicker than Akka, and I accomplished it. Did you? Okay.
Yes, I was here all day.
Maybe you're also a loser. What are you working on? Let me help.
Are you following me now?
Yeah.
You guys appear at the top of the stairs. Thamir is like sitting on the other side of these 4 crates that you've all assembled. He looks up at you, and there has been some progress on this over the course of the day. You're like, "Oh, let me help," and Thamir turns and looks at you, Heinrich. We have made some progress.
Okay.
They appear to be trying to meet with somebody.
Is this the druid?
No.
No.
This is a young woman named Arrow.
That's
What
right.
are you doing?
That's the person who Benjon said he could take us to, so that we could get to Zeistreese's.
Benjon couldn't take you to this
Arrow.
person.
No?
They did tell you they were going to, so Benjon's from Dungannon. And he
Right.
said that he's from Dungannon. He didn't have to travel there, but that was how they're going to get back. The person who had contact with Arrow was a gentleman named Ash Wilder.
Oh, okay. He's the dead one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then why are we keeping Benjon? I thought he could take us to Arrow. But that was the point of it.
No, I thought he could take us somewhere. I thought he could like bring us closer, just not directly there.
I mean, he could bring you, the place that he told you that he could get you to is the temple.
Oh,
And
okay.
It's through the Kuatar Badlands.
Right. So then that is still useful. Okay. I say all this.
What are you working on?
What?
What are you working on?
Thamir turns to you. This
I just
elf.
gesture at the table.
What is it?
These are the things that all of you found in your exploits last night. There are details from this cult as to what they were doing. They burned much of it, but we can put some of it together.
Well, not all of it. And I throw like a little piece of candy on the table. Found that too.
That's so much clearer.
Very suspicious.
With that last clue, we now know
For certain
for
that
certain that this cult means to travel beneath the Badlands, not through. And this arrow seems to know the way. That is who we need to find if we wish to figure out where this group is working out of.
right. Maybe we can get a little more info on what this arrow even looks like. Maybe.
From this, no.
No, from Benjon.
Perhaps.
He seemed pretty,
You would know, Heinrich, that Benjon had never met Arrow.
Oh, that's
He
right,
did
that's
say
right.
that.
he did say that, okay. So never mind. Okay. Dungannon's a pretty big place. We do know, the only thing that we know about them, that's it. That their name is Arrow. What other organizations are helping to guard the city that might have a little more knowledge on, like, the names of the individuals in question?
Well, there is an organization known as the Bloodroot Sanctuary. They seem to have details not even we are privy to. They may be good to ask.
Okay.
There are a number of individuals who have traveled here from around Dominion, despite the danger, for the Regents tournament. Perhaps somebody there would know.
All right. Well, what else did we discover from this besides that they're trying to meet with Arrow?
They are working out of an old temple, although the language seems to... I would infer that it was a tomb, not a temple. There is a creature that I would imagine is a being... We live in a time where dragons are back, so not hard to imagine, but a sphinx.
Huh.
Have you heard of such a thing?
I don't think so. I mean, in stories, but
It seems that these stories are based in reality, at least
Well,
if this can be agreed upon.
I feel like I shouldn't have reacted the way that I did. It's pretty obvious now that, yeah, if dragons and stuff, then yes, why not? Sure.
There are two layers to this tomb. One designed to challenge the mind, and another to challenge the body. In their time there, they have changed it, and so I don't know what we might walk into. But he pulls this piece of paper that is fairly burned, and in him kind of showing you and what you know, it's elements of perhaps like a blueprint. You see an entryway, a tall sort of tower, these strange little lines all marked off. Elements that might be useful. Additionally, it seems as if this was the origin of this Zeistries. But they are no longer present there.
But this is just where this group is operating out of.
It seems as if from there is a more direct route
Gotcha.
to the Gated Marsh.
Gotcha. Okay. And we do know the location of this place, at least.
Of which?
The temple. I'm asking him, not...
A rough region.
Okay.
I think that Watchmaster Paye may be able to help, because it is located within the warp.
Right. Okay. And then we would need Arrow to get through from there to wherever Zeistries is. Is that presumably correct?
It seems as if Arrow knows a way beneath the warp. However, you could walk through. People have done it before. The Watchmaster, for instance.
Right. While we're in Dungannon, it might be better just to search for them, if we could.
Who did Morwen tell about dating the Aarakocra? Who was there? It was just you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just now, you mean? Yeah.
On the walk.
They were on the walk,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't have happened
yeah.
here.
Am I back yet?
Around now, you can like see the Doontop Manor. You're like walking up to it for sure.
All right. Well, is Shay here? I don't know. Are you here, or did you stay on the roofs?
I mean, I think from the moment Shay woke up, she would have been asking about if Purdue had come back.
Okay, so yeah, over the course of the night, Purdue would have come back,
Okay.
and he would have told you just in the course of the time that you were awake. Wasn't able to find the skeletal creature. There were zombies about, to be sure, but nothing matching the kind of intelligence that you spoke of.
Okay. I think Shay would be up watching. I don't think she'd be here with you.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Yep.
Morwen, do you think you could help me find Shay and we could start formulating a plan?
Sure.
Either canvassing the city for this arrow or prepping to go through and meet up with Paye. One of the two. That seems to be it. No, well, because then there's what of the other items that were mentioned that they needed?
You'd remember the Soul Jar was one of the
it's
three.
in Mudtown.
Yep, somewhere in Mudtown, and then
There were like the scrolls or something, some sort
So
of like rituals.
There are
basically.
forbidden scrolls that we're looking at, but that wasn't one of the objects that they
Oh,
had
okay.
before. That was like a secondary thing.
Okay, so we were more looking. Yeah, all right.
They
So then
are
the soul
looking
jar,
for.
the grotesque, which I have. The soul jar is another one, and then I didn't write any
Mind
others
Flayer's
down.
Grotesque, the Soul Jar, and the Tentacle Rod.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, since no one else in my group is here, Morwen. What would
At
you
about this point, you make your way up the stairs.
What
Now
would
that
you
you
think?
have the best member.
What would you think?
About what?
Well, as I see it, we can either go to meet with Paye, or we can go to meet with Paye
Which is where?
Thamer nods to you as you enter.
through the Badlands and the Warp, apparently, to try to find this temple, or we could stay in Dungannon and try to find Arrow, who we would have to probably convince somehow, since they were working with, the Midnight Assembly at least, and maybe others, or we can try to disrupt their plans and buy ourselves more time by going to at least Mudtown, where I know from Benjon one of the location or one of the objects they were looking for is there. What seems to make the most sense to you? Because I'm kind of, I don't know.
I mean,
They all go very different directions. One is hurried, one is in the middle, and the last one seems preventative
Given-
but slower.
given what I like to do, I would go take the object.
Okay.
But I'm not going to leave Dungannon. So,
How far is Mudtown?
Make an intelligence check. Morwen, as far as I remember, you've never been to Mudtown?
well, Akka has, right?
Akka has, yeah.
And Akka's there.
Oh, so yeah, if you guys are acknowledging Akka.
Oh. Hello.
Hey.
Oh, hi,
Oh,
Slowpoke.
you beat me.
You kept
Oh.
our friends waiting.
You win.
I
Were
did.
you scared?
Ah, yeah. And Morwen wanted this too. And I'll just, like, really half-heartedly sort of, like, balloon fizzle, like Morwen wins. And then, like, a scroll just sort of, like, shoots out, and it's, like, kind of illegible, like, Morwen wins. And then another one, like, Akka loses. And that's from her.
Yep. You got me good.
I did.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, we made
Did
it.
you hear all of that?
We made it before 4 p.m.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
sooner,
think there's
the sooner
still
we
some
get here, the
fish.
sooner we can
They
leave.
seem to like
No,
fish here.
just- Yeah.
Okay.
Perdue leans around the corner. I'm very sorry there isn't any left.
There was fish, sorry.
Ugh, why do we eat?
I would
like
opt for
that?
whichever option brings me closer to finding the things on the lists that I have just recovered.
So, like,
As well as
going
the
out
4
in the
items
world,
that
you
were
mean?
stolen.
For what it's
Yes.
worth, those are all things that probably, especially Andrea's list, could be found at the Alchemy Association in Mudtown.
Mudtown.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that I would know that. Because I don't know you have a list.
Okay.
But. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Do we want to try to, like, prevent more so we can not feel like such against the clock. Maybe, given that we don't really know exactly what and where
Well,
everything is going on.
How far away is everything?
Mudtown's about what, day or
You've never traveling to Mudtown through the warp is difficult, but for those who can
Oh,
do
it's
it,
past where Paia would be?
so Mudtown.
I had a like a mental picture it was north.
Don't you also have a map? Can we just like say that like
Let's
we
just
figure
pull
this
out the
out?
map.
Yeah.
Map.
That really will determine also if I come with you or not.
So
Map.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to put this on the DM only view so people can see this a little better.
Okay.
So on this map, you guys can see
Okay.
you are currently in Dungannon.
Okay.
This is the Kuatar Badlands, and roughly the warp is right about here.
Uh-huh.
Mudtown is.
Oh my goodness.
Right there.
That's like
that's
past
not
where
close.
they were.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so that's not even remotely close.
No, you guys were in 1,000 gates over here previously. This
Right.
is maybe like an 8-day.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
If you were to walk.
Right.
So yeah, Mudtown's like a little over a week away.
All right. Well, so that doesn't seem like the most practical option.
No, it doesn't. I thought it was closer for some reason.
Would there be a collective teleportation circle? To
The
Mudtown?
collective does not have a teleportation circle.
Would they know of part of that network that they?
You don't, but you could ask.
All right.
Yeah.
We could maybe see if we could teleport
Mm.
from the
Thanks, Tom. I drew it myself.
collective.
Well, did we find anything else out about maybe where the other object was?
About the
The
tentacle rod?
rod?
Let me see. No. Specifically, you have not learned anything really about that, aside from the fact that it seems to be a rod with tentacles.
All right. Well, that's not helpful at all.
No.
Okay. So maybe what we could do is try to find Arrow so that we could have a safer route to the temple, which connects to, apparently, or somehow related, Zeistrese's lair.
We should
I
maybe
think that's kind of the only thing I
see if Mr. Gift knows anything about these objects,
can... True.
and see if they could set us up with some teleportation. And,
Possibly.
you know, if we're trying to move with some haste so we can get back in time for what, we're meeting your pirate friends,
Family.
your pirate family. Yeah.
Aemir is going to speak up and say, if you are looking for somebody who can perform some more arcane rituals or teleport, there are a few options that you have here. Give me a second, I'm trying to find it. There is, if you are willing to spend a good amount of money, but travel safely and discreetly. Let me find it. It is called the Sojourn Network.
Yeah, that's the one that we use most often, right?
You have
We
you were
used it.
afforded the ability
Yeah.
to use it once.
Yeah. Okay.
You've used most often. I don't think you've used anything more than once. You've used the teleportation circle in Pendleton.
I mean the collective, like as a whole.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they work, not work with, but they use the Sojourn network.
You get a discount for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, at least in the possible location of these objects, that's definitely good. The other thing, I don't know. Did that name Rex mean anything to you, Thamir? Or would you know of any where I would even be able to begin looking? Much like looking for this arrow. Locating people isn't really something that I do.
I've never heard of a Rex.
Yeah. Druids in and around Dungannon.
In and around Dungannon, in Lower Dungannon, there are the Vermin. I don't remember what they call themselves, but they are druids of creatures of the city, specifically those that dwell beneath.
Maybe. I mean, if these guys are already dwelling beneath, it might be kind of something they were doing.
It is possible.
Are these like underground tunnels or whatever, this underground network, is that not known to anybody else?
Underground tunnels?
Or like,
What
what
are
are
you
you
talking
saying? Wait, you're saying people are going under, am I totally
So
misunderstanding?
the underground portion, that is something that a woman named Arrow seems to know how to use to get from somewhere to the north of the Kuatar Badlands to deep within, without having to walk through a section called the Warp, which has all these strange
Oh,
creatures.
so that's not Dungannon related.
No.
No.
However, there
Okay,
are
okay.
sewers.
Right.
Dungannon does have a very, very robust sewer system.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, because if it was in Dungannon, I would assume I might know something about it having to sneak around. But if that's not
Yeah,
what
no,
that is,
it's
then
not
never mind.
located in Dungannon. You do know many places to sneak around.
I invented that. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably one or two.
Found a bunch of hidey holes.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, they might be a good place to check for if this Rex person is known. Because that's one of the things from this list.
So
Maybe we should stop by, because where would they be located? I'm just trying to mental map it. If we leave from here, and stop off at the Antiquities Collection and find out the
So that's
potential locations of these objects, and then go talk to these people about if they know someone named
2
Rex.
hours southeast, followed by
To get to which part?
to get to the collective,
The collective is about 2 hours to the south,
Mm-hmm.
southeast.
and then from there to get to
Well, where is this
the
group of druids or whatever?
yeah, Druid Circle.
To call it a group is perhaps too generous.
Where are they often found?
In Lower Dungannon, around the Lower Anchor. They don't have they're very, what's the word?
Like another hour lower.
They wander. They
Sure.
don't have a home, per se.
Sure.
Do I not know anything about these people?
Make a history check. You very well might.
Druids seem like cool folks. You know, we could hang.
They're interesting.
What was that? 14.
14. Sure. Yeah, you've heard of the Vermin Callers. They're like a group of druids that are generally pretty dirty, and they're usually kind of like transient people who wander around town and do various odd jobs, and they generally are accompanied by a swarm of rats, little sewer animals. They get kind of an unfair rap for being dirty. They're not, especially. They bring around a lot of creatures, and their appearance is such that they do not look well cleaned.
Like
Sick.
Charlie from Always Sunny.
More like, I would say, a cross between like the Lost Boys and just sort of some like gruff older folk. Yeah,
Okay.
they might know.
Well, we could try to find them. And I might also know people who might know them better.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so is that like mapping this out? Would it be easier to try to find them first, then go to the Antiquities Collective, or would the Antiquities Collective
go-
be on the way?
South.
Antiquities Collective first, because it is
Yeah,
on
okay.
the actual upper part of the city that you are on.
Okay.
To go down, you need to find a way down, which they're kind of haphazard, but you have to travel vertically down and then across, and you still don't really know where they are. So that's going to a rough location.
Mm-hmm.
But to get to lower anchor from upper anchor, which is where the collective is,
Mhm.
would just be like south, right?
Sort
Mostly south, and then more
And then down.
South.
The
East and
collective,
then
hit up the
down,
collective first.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
That
I
would
can also
be
just go
awesome.
ahead
down
and
and south over the bridge, right?
Yes.
start my searching while you guys are there.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't.
Shay, are you doing anything? You're kind of like around the corner in the great room.
I would have been out watching, so like keeping an eye on the area.
Okay.
That seems like the plan then. I would have copied down the blueprinty thing.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And then if there was any info on what else they were doing.
From
From the thing that he repaired, like the notes that he not repaired, but you know.
That's pretty much what you would get,
Okay.
given the state in which you found it.
Okay. So then let's do that and see if we can locate this soul jar and this tentacle rod.
The sun is beginning to get a little bit lower in the sky.
Sure.
It's about 4:30 in the afternoon at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah, it's only been up for 3 hours, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll meet you guys at the Antiquities Collective. I'm gonna go see what I can find out.
About what?
The Druids.
That's past it. You're not going to be.
We're gonna go right past.
I don't think
the
you
collective.
understand.
Yeah, but why do
But
I have to be in the collective while you
should
guys are talking?
Stop
We're looking for them anyway.
Drink,
It's fine, yeah.
drink, and we'll talk about those
Stopping for a drink.
items. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna look for the Druids, and I'm starting at the Verdant Ogres. That's perfect.
What is this?
great.
What? Why do we have to stop for a drink?
Cause,
Well, 'cause
it's like
Morwen
that
won the
time.
race.
It's it's
So since she won, I owe her a drink.
Okay. Does this have to happen now?
also I haven't had one yet today.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's racer's honor, right?
sure.
Plus, we walked all this way from the collective. It feels like why are we doing all the walking? You guys could have just come to the collective.
Yeah, especially if we're gonna go back to the collective anyway. Why didn't you guys just meet up with? Okay.
Yeah.
And you rushed me over. You woke
Well,
me up
because
for
I
this.
was trying to be
You guys were
considerate,
all
but
the
I
way
guess
across.
no one else in this group is being considerate.
All right, from
I have
now
no idea what
on,
you're talking
you
about.
guys
You have
are
a very
meeting
skewed
us at the
worldview.
collective.
Huh?
Said from now on, you guys are meeting us at the collective.
It's a.
This makes no sense to come all the way here just to go back. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, we're probably not going to be here much longer.
I will.
I will say,
Like a
Warren,
couple
the
days.
Verdant Ogre is
Very far away.
no.
Oh.
So it's down and then a little bit south, but it is in lower Dungannon, kind of along the coast area. You could very easily go down and get to the Verdant Ogre in maybe an hour, and then go through lower Dungannon over and then up to the Dungannon Antiquities Collective. There you go. Okay.
I know my path today.
There you go.
All right.
So, you guys coming with us, or?
Sure. For lack of anything better, if this must happen.
You don't have to come. You don't owe me a beer.
I'm just saying we could get better information about all of these things that we have to go and find
From the collective.
from the collective.
Which is where I'd like to go.
Then
And
go to
avoid
the
this drink.
collective.
Yeah, but then you should have just come when I told you could come. And now you have to deal with the consequences of your action because we have a wager that we must settle. And I think,
Consequences of my
He wants
action.
my wyvern blood.
All right.
well, I don't.
All right.
It's on the list.
Oh, Venom.
I have a list that I need. There's a lot of things that we need to find. So let's.
I
I hope it
accidentally told
pertains
him
to the
about that
important stuff
really
in life.
awkward date that I went on that you kind of joined. Do you remember?
I have no idea what you're
I
talking
know.
about. I have no idea
Incidentally,
what you're talking about, Mark.
I'm looking for some wyvern blood. So
So you're
that
looking
was-
to
We
steal
were
it
going
or
to-
pawn
no,
it
we
or
were-
acquire it off of Morwen? Is that
don't
what it is?
steal
Tradesies.
everything. I'm not the one who's going around killing people and stealing all of their stuff most of the time.
I mean, I've only killed undead people in the past 24 hours. So I don't know what you mean.
24 hours.
All right. Well, enjoy your barb. I'll go to the collective and do my own, I guess, stuff that seems more important than this. So
Okay.
I'm gonna walk off and look for
Also,
shit.
I loot live people too, so I don't have to kill them to steal their
That's
stuff.
fair.
All right. Quick drink, and then we'll meet them at the collective. We'll
Okay.
be there like a half hour after them. I don't know why. We had to walk all this way. They just got to.
You know what? Now we're
Mill about
bonding.
this
and
At
we're
this
one.
walking
point,
away.
at this point, Thamir
Now I'm
kind
thinking
of
he's
speaks
all
up and says,
right.
"Why don't you just leave?"
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
leaving.
that's. I would have stayed home all morning if you didn't.
I gotta catch up on
Let's
my
get outta
my
here.
beauty. I almost said booty sleep.
Morwen and Akka, you guys head off and down the stairs and back out into Dungannon.
The
Shay, you
nerve
see
of
them
these
leave.
guys.
Are you doing anything?
2 hours
Watch
walking.
them leave.
Okay.
And then
You watch them leave.
shoot out the door.
Ridiculous.
Right back to where we came from.
Ridiculous.
Morwen
Asked
and
my
Akka,
opinion,
the two
didn't
of
even
you,
take it.
The nerve.
The two of you head down towards the verdant ogre and the shores of the lower
I
anchor.
spent all morning trying to wake you up so we would get there. No thanks.
Heinrich, you watch them leave. You hear Akka complaining as he goes down the stairs.
As is characteristic.
What are you doing?
I'm just going to pull out the book and ask for the location of these two things.
Okay, so you pull out this brown book, and as you kind of open it up and begin to inscribe in Celestial, what are you asking?
So I'm going to ask, what is the precise location of, in current modern-day Dominion, of the tentacle rod?
These glyphs disappear beneath, and then they seem to reemerge quickly, almost fluttering to the top of the page. The tentacle rod is wielded by the Kinderflare, located within the gated marsh.
Kinderflare. Gated marsh. Okay. Same question, but about the soul jar.
Again, the writing disappears beneath the pages and reappears reformed. The soul jar is in Mudtown, within the Alchemist Association's Grand Ballroom.
Ballroom. And Alchemist Association.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so we have a good heading for these two objects. They're kind of the same direction. That's great. That's great. Who are the Kinderflare? Probably the last one to
That's
ask.
the last question you asked?
Yeah,
Okay.
for today.
You write down in Celestial who is the Kinderflare, and as these glyphs disappear, they reappear reformed. The Kinderflare was once a tiefling.
Oh,
Once, like you, in service to something different. It never left that service, and has been twisted to something far worse.
okay. Okay. Well, that saves me a trip to the Antiquities Collective, and I've shaken them, so bought myself some time. I'll start heading down towards the area roughly where I think the druids would be.
You begin to head off in that direction. More
Just
Product-
to me.
It's product of the environment, my friend.
Shay, you see Heinrich maybe like 5 minutes later kind of emerge, like nodding his head and then looking around and heading off.
Seeing Heinrich emerge solo, I'll drop down next to him.
Okay. So Heinrich, as you emerge, you're like, all right, druids. You turn. Shay
Yeah.
just lands right next to you.
Without skipping a beat, be like, all right, I have the location of the last two objects that they were looking for.
People all around are still like, whoa.
And we're just like, I think we're going to continue walking.
Yeah.
Sort of like walking like, sup, Shay. So, so, what those other two objects they were looking for, if they're anything like the power that's in this grotesque, probably important to get them out of the hands of those who either could use it poorly, can't defend it well, or may already be under attack by Zeistrese's minions or whatever. Fortunately, they're both in the rough same direction, one in Mudtown and then the other in the gated marsh. And now the only thing that... There's two people that we need to find in Dungannon before we leave. Well, may need to find. That Rex. And I found out that there's these druids that exist in the lower city. So that's where I'm headed if you want to join.
My goal at this point is to kill Zeistrees. So
Yes.
anything in the service of that.
Exactly. Weaken at all points too. So if these are things that they want, prevent them from getting that, prevent them from getting stronger at least. That seems most obvious goal. So right now that's where I'm headed if you would want to join.
Let's keep an eye out too for the undead and see if we can spot the one I saw last night.
Okay. What one last?
Quickly recount.
Oh right, I overheard that as I was practicing Elvish, which I say in Elvish.
And for what it's worth, it is proper Elvish.
All right. On we go, and I point in probably the wrong direction because I have no idea where I'm going.
You get another 3 hours Elvish to
Hell yeah.
your total. What is your total?
95.5 hours.
Nice. All right, making some progress. You're feeling like you almost feel like you've been in like a cultural immersion program now for a couple months, and it's starting to
From a
flow
book.
to the point where, as you walk through the streets, you can kind of hear little bits now, where even without paying attention, you can understand. It's coming along pretty well.
Okay, good. I'm sure I could go and interact with society at large with the knowledge I have.
Yeah,
Functionally.
yeah, probably.
All right, cool. All right, so that's where, and then I'm also just gonna think about those things, the undead, and then my mind kind of goes to like, and if there's like a place just to get my boots fixed up, if we ever need to dress up again, it's kind of fun when we were in Colteron. I liked being all fancy, and these boots got ruined. So I want
Totally for it. Like, just kind of like it. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for bending an ear. All right, and so I try to make my way best as I can down to the lower area of Dungannon.
Make a survival check as you begin to urban navigate your way through.
That's right. Shay, if you could help at some point too.
Sure.
Okay, make it an advantage.
Yeah. Oh, that was worth it. Survival is dirty 20.
Okay.
Woo!
So, with a dirty 20, you walk pretty confidently. You'd seen some staircases along the way as you'd walked previously, and so you head towards the edge. You find this, as you peer over the edge, and there are railings, and it's relatively safe. But because of the way the mesa kind of falls inwards as it gets down to the ground, this staircase goes down and you can't see as it goes.
Cool.
It is a little unnerving to look at, but you see people walking up it and walking down it and relatively unconcerned. You can make your way down that staircase. Shay, you go as well.
Yep.
You make your way down into the area that is known as Lower Dungannon. It's about 20 minutes to walk all the way down. Here and there, you have to squeeze up kind of against the edge to allow others to go by. And in those moments, you can feel the wind kind of whistling through these canyons that go between the mesas. And as you look out, you can see here and there into the sides of the rock wall. There are little, pathways that have been carved. And here and there are, small buildings that stick out with windows and full doorways. You even see here and there, little gardens, although not grass, more like little lichens and mushrooms and things of that nature. But you travel and you head to Lower Dungannon. Meanwhile, Morwen, Akka, the two of you head down, and before too long, as you are both natives to Dungannon, you find yourselves out front of the Verdant Ogre. You can see the green figurehead of this ogre that had once belonged on a ship overhead, over top this doorway. Within, you can hear a few more people than you'd previously seen, as it is about 5:30 at this point, and much more appropriate for people to be drinking. Walking in, you could see familiar and behind the bar, Daphne. This halfling.
Hi, Daphne.
Hi, Morwen.
How are you?
Doing pretty well. Just kind of started.
Cool. Can we grab a table?
Yeah, anywhere. You want your special table?
Right this way. Yeah.
A little dusty in the back, but you're welcome to it.
That's okay.
All right. You know way.
Yeah.
You
Follow me.
You walk behind the bar and push your way through the door. Again, the same kind of dusty space that you can smell the remnants of the nights that you've had here. The faint, stale smell of pipe leaf and little stale bits of ale, maybe something a little smoky and fiery almost. But all that is left right now is just cobwebs and dust and the memories that come with those smells.
I'll take the usual.
She pulls out 2 beers and kind of passes one to you, kind of half gestures to you, Akka.
Yeah, these are on me.
Passes it over. Well, if they're on you, then that's 2 silver.
All right.
Takes the 2 silver, takes one of them and gives it to you, Morwen.
Thank you.
And then tucks the other one away.
Well,
She's from the Brotherhood. She doesn't have to pay.
You in my house now.
Daphne
Come buy me a
turns to
drink.
you,
We're there
Morwen,
for
just
free.
and give me money and a beer.
Daphne turns to you more and just winks and looks back at you, Aka. You don't need anything else, or?
I think we're good for now. Just, we'll probably have another drink or two.
All right, I'll
Oh,
check
Daphne,
in.
by the way.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen you since, but everyone else should be back in about 4 days, and we planned to meet here. Just FYI.
Well, a bunch of people are going to be back tomorrow on account of the tournament, but you talking about the rest of the Brotherhood.
I am.
All right.
So
I'll try to get things cleaned up then.
you're too good to us, Daphne. I give her back the silver piece.
And she smiles, and there is a little bit of sadness in that smile, but she smiles and nods.
All right, thanks. We're just going to hang out here for a little.
All right. She kind of backs away through the door and shuts it behind her. The sound of the bar kind of dies beneath that because it is quite quiet now that the door is shut.
So, what do you want?
Cheers! I down it.
Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
I'm going to have, like, a bit and then kind of, like, see that Morwen's just downing the whole thing and stop, like, halfway.
Oh,
Okay.
no. It's a 4.
You watch. So first, Morwen
skipped
begins
breakfast.
to drink it.
No, I had eggs thrown at my face.
Oh, sorry.
I ate
Okay.
breakfast.
As she drinks it, like heavy, you see through like the one window this little like sun ray and all the dust floating through the air. It's heavy and it swirled when you all sat down. So as Morwen pulls in the first couple of glugs, you see some of this like this heavy dust like right into her throat. Morwen, after the first 2 pulls, you choke a little bit and beer all across your face.
Oh, I mean, that's like fine. Like, I'm not embarrassed about this.
Yeah,
at
and
all.
you polish it off. It
Yeah, I don't
runs
give
down.
I don't care.
You take this stein and
Like,
you.
if I have to foam puke or whatever, I do not care. This is my home.
You don't. But as you slam this down, you really haven't eaten much today, and you feel pretty drunk. Yeah, you are considered drunk.
Do
Yay.
you want another? Should I just have her grab a few for you?
Sure.
And maybe some food?
Yeah, that's cool.
Because, last time, literally yesterday when you did this, you
a
slept
good
all
time.
morning. Just,
Yeah.
all right, have some food.
Okay. Get me some food, please.
Yeah, all right. And think about the Wyvern Venom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm going to go up and be
And I'm
like,
kind of drunk, so I'm like, what about it?
can we get some more beers for Morwen? And she wanted some food, too.
Sure. Morwen knows this, but we don't really have food. There's staples in the kitchen.
Yeah.
In the back room. You're welcome to help yourself.
Just a loaf of bread, Aka.
All right. Yeah, I'll go grab that stuff.
Okay, so you walk
Couple
back
beers.
past Morwen, and you see there is like this kind of shelf, and you see like this basket with like almost like a gingham cloth tucked in, and pulling that aside, there's some kind of stale pieces of bread.
All right, I'll grab a couple pieces of bread for Morwen. I'll grab a couple for myself too, because
Okay.
if I'm gonna try to keep up with Morwen.
Daphne comes in now, holding under her arm like a small pony keg, and just sets it down on the table. I trust that you'll make sure that he settles up whatever he.
I'll settle up. What do I? We'll figure it out at the end of this.
All right.
I'm
Let me
good
know if you need
for it.
anything else, Morwen.
Okay.
She backs back away, and the door shuts again.
Filling her
She
up.
liked me last time. I was nice to
Filling
her.
up.
Yeah, but you're just a patron, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you pour another drink.
Yeah, this one I'm sipping. I'm
So-
not downing
Okay.
it.
What do you want for the Wyvern Venom and what was the other item? What was the other item that you had on the list?
Scales.
The scales, yeah, the dragon scales.
Well, that depends. How much of the wyvern venom do you need?
All?
All of it? What is it
How
for?
much do you have?
I'm gonna whip it out. There's a full jar. I don't know what a full jar is. I did not write the size of a jar. I have to assume it's the same
How
jars that I
much-
had the pipe leaf in.
I
There was no
don't-
specification of how much
I
Mr.
don't remember why I know this. Is 3 applications worth of it. So this is roughly the size of like a peanut butter jar.
Okay.
That's a decent amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's probably enough. Yeah. So what do you want for it?
I don't know. You got any money?
You know I have some money now. Yes.
What has
Is that
Mr.
all
Gift
it-
got? Has he got special things?
I don't-
I'm kind of.
probably.
You guys got a lot of stuff in there. I want to
Yeah,
know.
but that's the whole. Remember, I told you We try to keep them there so that other people don't go off and, misuse them.
Yeah, but I'm trying to keep the Wyvern Venom in here. So,
For what? We use just a jar of Wyvern Venom to you. What are you going to do with it?
I like it. I earned it. It's memories.
Okay, well, you can buy new memories if I give you some gold.
Okay.
All right, so what, 3 gold pieces?
No. 10.
10?
1,000.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Let's see. For the Wyvern Venom,
the
I will
scales?
take... Well, just for the Wyvern Venom, because the scales are more sentimental. I will do 7 gold pieces, and I need you to say in front of the entire finger gang that I am your favorite, the funniest, and the cutest. And you need to mean it.
Morwen's like a little drunk at this point.
I'll do 5 gold pieces if you say it in front of the finger gang and everyone you know at the collective.
Thinking about this, Akka, that you're balancing the annoyance of all of this versus Drea's possible acceptance.
Well, these are 2 items from Mr. Gifts,
Oh, okay.
right?
So actually, even more so.
Is that? I mean, I'm asking you.
The dragon scales are from Mr. Gift. That was some of the black market items.
Yeah, and the Wyvern Venom as
Correct.
well. Right. So,
Is there an open window?
Yeah, it's the window behind there that's open. I'm realizing now it's cracked.
all right. How about I give
Ambiance.
you
Live fully work.
this nice. I'm gonna pull out the gold ring with the chipped ruby that I have.
Okay.
And this ring. It's
And
gold.
I'm just going to show all of the jewelry that I have.
So Morwen opens up this leather sack.
Mind you,
and
I
dumps
also
out-
went through that that treasure the other night and wore half of it home.
There's at least 24 different gold and silver rings, some of which are twisted together in complex bands. There are bracelets. You see a tiara that has 3 diamonds in it. A whole variety of things. You see necklaces.
just the worst?
There's this crazy looking thing that has gold pieces that have been flattened and joined through links. So it's almost like this shoulder piece that you could wear. A lot of jewelry. You hold this little ring and the chipped ruby. And you're
All right. How about this?
Uh-huh.
How much do you want for the dragon scales?
Let's see. How many dragon scales do I have? I have 1 white dragon scale from the one that you killed. And I think I have a few of the one from kind scale. I think I took 5 scales specifically.
Something like that.
I want to keep at least 1 of the kind scales. Kind scales.
Kind scale.
But I'm willing to part with the rest of them. So what was my math on that? So if there's 5 scales,
That's
I'm trying to look for the actual.
4 deep.
6 total.
Yeah.
Well, I'm keeping 1,
So
so it'd be 5.
Yes.
So 5 scales. So I'll do them for. Let's see, 5. So I'll do all of them for 10.
Whoa, that's cheap.
But you also have to say,
incredibly cheap.
But
yeah. But I want to wear your full suit of armor
Like,
for a full 2 days.
I physically can't let you do that.
It's really awkward, man.
How about this?
Then your cape for a week.
How about this? 20 gold pieces for all of it. I'll tell them that you're my favorite finger gang and all that other random bullshit that you wanted me to say to everyone. But you have to try and help me convince Shay and Heinrich to actually talk to Mr. Gift.
Wait, what?
Just like, go with it. Try to get them to...
Wait, you want them to talk to Mr. Gift?
Yeah, they've been being so suspicious and standoffish
Oh, they'd be
this
like
whole
super
time.
down. What are you talking about?
I asked
They
Shay,
already
she didn't
talked to
want
Mr. Gift.
Heinrich did, but, I want us to work, somewhat cohesively.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And
I just
I
think
feel
they were a
like
little
they-
sussed out about, me telling them how I overheard your conversation that you want to take the breaker.
Well,
So there's a little bit of a rift with that. And then all the judgment with the signing the contract to find out you got history too, man,
you don't...
There's only so much I can do.
It's difficult because, in this moment, the Morwen's kind of drunk. And you can see, like, that
And it's
second
just like-
beer halfway empty, but she's hitting you with these hard truths.
like unbridled facts.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know.
Are you like recalling the other night when Ryan unloaded on you?
A little bit. Yeah.
That was funny.
All right.
A friend did that to Allie recently, IRL, so it's like fresh.
You got me real good. I was like,
He was like, you do this, and then you're gonna say this?
I deserved every minute of it.
Ooh. All right. Look, I told you the library thing, right? I told you.
Yeah.
So far, the expiration date on Shay's rental has not expired, so I'm not trying to take it. And, to be fair, you guys haven't been super honest with me the whole time.
Well,
So,
yeah, what do you want to know?
well, I don't know, I mean...
My name's Morwen, and I'm 5 3/4.
It just seems like...
The door opens and Daphne leans in. You guys need anything else right now?
I think we're good, Daphne.
All right. You?
I think we're good for now, thanks.
All right. Just let me know. Retreats back in.
Look, I'm not trying to be dishonest with you guys, but I have certain things that I need to do, as well as, all of the random bullshit that I've now found myself stuck dealing with tangentially because of the lot of you.
I mean,
And
I'm
I'm
just
not
confused. We're just
blaming
trying
you.
to save the world, and I just thought that, like, you're in it and you were interested
And I mean,
in
I'm
helping.
in it, but I think, some of the methods by which you operate aren't always in the best interest of your ultimate goals, and also might be aligning with evil forces that are probably going to, in some way, bite you on the ass. You signed a literal contract on, like, a tortured human flesh thing.
Well, that was a first.
So,
I'll never forget it.
how about this? 20
As
gold.
Morwen drinks.
What? Who are
20
you?
gold,
Daphne, there's a stranger! No, I'm just kidding.
and I will answer any questions that you have in exchange.
I want the cape.
Let me finish.
Okay.
20 gold. I'll answer any questions you have so that you can trust me, so that then you can convince Shay and Heinrich to actually come and, sit at the table. And stop being so standoffish and elusive,
I don't think they're that way at all.
They literally...
They love me.
Yeah, it really shows. And you will give me the Wyvern Venom and the Dragon Scales. I'll let you keep one of your sentimental scales. I'll let you keep 2 of your sentimental scales.
Oh.
And I think that's everything, right? So...
No, I didn't hear anything about the cape, and I didn't hear anything about you saying that I'm your favorite
That's
funniest
still
and the
included.
cutest.
Yeah, I'll say all of that.
in front of Heinrich, Shay, Mr. Gift. What was the dragonborn's name?
Drea.
Drea, and what's the one that's
three.
baby?
No, don't.
Ogle
stop
three.
him.
Ogle
No.
3. And then you've got yourself a deal, my friend. But I want the cape. I want to wear the cape when you say it. And they're only going to trust you if I can talk to them while wearing the cape. I know them. It's really going to help convince them that you're trustworthy if I can wear your cape.
I will let you wear it for 8 hours sometime after tomorrow.
It's much shorter than a week.
I'll let you wear
Sometime after tomorrow for the full day. Like the whole day. The whole day that I'm awake, and I like to sleep in. This might be beneficial for you.
Bring it down to 17 gold, and you've got yourself a deal.
No. This is already a really good deal on Dragon Scales.
18 gold.
No. I'm filling her up.
19 gold, and I'll buy your next meal. But it has to be not a super fancy meal, like the last time you swindled me.
I don't really pay for my meals.
When we
20
leave,
gold. I'm
when
the
we
cutest and I'm
leave
the funniest and your
Dungannon.
cape for a day. That's my final offer.
I'm not saying it in front of Ogletree.
That's okay. Probably wouldn't
Fuck
understand
that
anyway.
guy. Yes,
Yeah.
and fuck
No,
that
you're
guy.
right. Okay.
Fine, deal.
All right. I'll give it
And
to
we'll
you.
drink to it.
Yeah, and I'm chugging.
That's the cheapest exchange for
Aqua,
Dragon
make a
Scales was
constitution.
ever done.
Yeah, that was a very cheap price.
Yeah.
Make a constitution
You
save.
sold it
really
for like
care.
1% of their face value.
A little more than that, but yeah, it's
Oof.
pretty.
Constitution save.
Yeah.
It's not so much the money I'm making.
I know.
That is a
So it's
15.
one dragon. Like I say, you
Okay.
got 3 kind scales.
3 kinds scales.
No, you got
Deep-
4.
deep
kind.
dragon.
Oh, okay.
Deep
So,
dragon skills.
3 deep
So I have
dragon
the 1
and
dragon scale from
one-
kind scale and the 1 white dragon.
all right. I'm gonna pretty much immediately give them to Mr. Gift
Okay.
once we get back. Which, as soon as we finish our drinks, head back to the collective, meet up with Heinrich and Shay.
Oh yeah, I thought we were looking for the druids.
Well, we're gonna meet them at the collective to then go to the druids.
Okay.
So
When are you saying I'm the
How much-
funniest, cutest, and smartest? Oh no, it has to be tomorrow while I'm wearing your cape. You're right.
right, okay, fine. After the cape.
Yeah.
How much more of this keg is there left?
You kind of take it and rock it to the side. It's like getting close to half gone, this thing. It's a
Right.
pony keg. It's not like a whole keg. but
Yeah, it's like, all right. I'm going to pour another for myself and for Morwen and be like, all right, we got to finish this before we go.
Done.
So you guys drinking the remainder of this keg.
I mean,
Dope.
I actually don't know if I'm gonna do the remainder. I've had 2 beers by now.
And
the
you're-
first one kicked my ass.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do 1 more.
Okay.
And that's
All right,
it.
I'll drink
and,
one
and
more
I'll,
with-
I'll be munching on these breads.
Okay. Both of you are drunk. And so when you do eventually decide, first of all, how long are you're finishing it? It's going to take
not,
about,
we're
No, we're
finishing
having one
more,
drink
Okay,
one more
one more
drink
drink?
each. Yeah,
Okay.
one more drink each. And we're eating a lot of the bread because I brought a lot of the bread over. And then we're heading out. Trying to go quickly because I want us to get back to the collective so we meet up with Shay and Heinrich in
More.
time. Not super low.
as part of Talon's wheel from previously, the
Yeah.
wheeled, roll a D100, please.
Okay. Hold on. Let me put all my notes together.
Okay.
You suffer no hangover.
26.
Okay. You guys make your way out into this main room. It's gotten a little bit more crowded, and you can see, whereas there was maybe like about a dozen people before, it's getting closer to 20. There are faces that neither of you have seen here before, and for you, Morwen especially, that's very noticeable, even in your drunken state. There are people in stranger dress than what you normally see in Dungannon. For you, Morwen, you do notice 1 or 2 people who seem to be dressed in garb that would be indicative of a harder life at sea on the Emerald Expanse. However, not from this side. Probably from Everest, the continent to the west.
Oh, can I bring the rest of the beer to them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You take the keg out, and as you open the door, you spot it is.
I'm generous with my free beer.
So you see these two elves sitting off at a corner table. Both are wearing this sort of like very white shirts that are loose around the sleeves, but then cinched at the wrists. They're wearing almost these vests that seem like they're made out of like. They're very beautiful, but almost like jeweled beetle carapaces that have been joined together to form these like almost rigid vests. One of them has a cutlass at their side, but you bring this beer over. They look at you, and one of them kind of looks at the other and then back. What's this for then?
I'll say in Elvish, drink up, friends. I couldn't finish it. I've had enough.
They both look at each other, and you can see one of them kind of raises an eyebrow, and he turns to you. You speak Elvish.
What? I say Coven. I leave. No, just no. Just
It'll be the second time you've
yes.
done that.
Yes, I. Apparently, I do.
Where did you learn?
I'm also listening in on this because I speak.
I don't know. I kind of just like woke up one day and knew it.
They look at each other, and one kind of like seems to squint his eyes, and the other one just goes. And he looks up at you and goes, "Well, thank you.
You're welcome, friends."
Cheers." And he holds up a glass.
I fist bump it.
Okay. He just starts to drink, and you walk away.
To the collective.
You open the door expecting the sunlight to hit you, and it is dark.
Is there like people smoking butts outside?
Yeah,
Can I be like,
yeah.
yo, can I bum one?
So the smell of stargrass does kind of drift across, and you smell kind of like the sweet, almost skunky aroma of it. There are a couple people out there that are smoking, and if you want, you can try to make a persuasion check. Why
Okay.
not?
I'll try to help.
Let me
I'll be
bum
like,
a
"Can
smoke."
can we just get like just one? We'll split it, and on the
Make it an
we've got a
advantage.
long walk, you know.
Make it an advantage.
Just
All right. Well, so persuasion, so 25.
25. So you see it's like this chunky dwarf. And actually, very unusual to the dwarves that you've seen, kind of like blondish hair. But he looks up at you, one eye kind of closed. He smells of beer. And you can see he's like holding this little fiery looking thing in his hand. And he turns and looks at you. All right. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out this tiny little pouch. What do you have for it?
Aka.
yeah.
It's an akka.
That's my name. Just what do you
It
want?
makes me hungry for some reason. Gold, if you have it.
Yeah, I could give him some gold. I need a smoke.
How about like a silver piece?
Hey, yeah.
All right.
Passes this
Silver
little package to you. Takes a silver piece from you. Tucks it away.
To the collective.
How do I like smoke this?
So opening it up, it's just like little nuggets of pipe leaf on the inside.
So I don't have a pipe.
Oh, you have a pipe?
He turns and looks at you. No.
Do you have something to roll in?
He looks and kind of looks back. Oh,
How did you get yours?
I bought it.
Where did you?
The
Do you
Traveler's
have
Hall.
some more?
Yeah, I have more of this. Yeah, but it's not going to help
Nothing
you roll
to-
it.
It's all right. I'll find one. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks. Let's to the collective.
Yeah, the collective will probably
Kind
have
of
an
wobble
awesome
a little
pipe.
bit. Oh man,
Yeah.
do they ever?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
look for a
boy.
really dope pipe at the collective.
If I remember correctly, so the pipe that Gambles is modeled after is actually, I don't know if I have to look. I think it actually is in the collective. Neither here nor there. So you head back to the collective in the dark. Heinrich, Shay, the two of you make your way down and into Lower Anchor. Here, still the sunlight beginning to kind of like set. You guys a little bit back in time from this point. The wind whistling through dies down as you get to the lower section. And as you get there, you look up and there is a thin seam of this reddish, purplish sky and almost none else. And the rest is just stone that rises up. Striated sandstone. There are people here. It's darker, and you do see there are lanterns and torches that are lit, and they provide like a dim ambient glow to the area. You see off in the ways there's like some kind of like a tavern, and there's a larger group of people around there. Where are you guys going?
Probably looking for.
Any idea where these individuals might be?
Right. Well, they're described as looking dirty and often wander and don't congregate and probably deflect attention. So, back alleys or shady or dirty areas would be my guess.
As we're walking, I'm keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have Nod come out and sort of like instruct Nod to like look for rats, but don't attack them.
The celestial owl appears, the
Yeah.
teal kind of washing across the dark space. And there are
Ping me
people.
when you see rats.
There are people who like turn. You see somebody point,
Yeah.
but you tell this to Nod.
Yeah.
Nod just nods to you. The eyes close once, and then off and into the dark. Shay, make a perception check.
25.
Okay. You begin to walk around. Heinrich, every now and then you close your eyes to look through Nod's. Make a perception check for Nod. Specifically, what are you looking for, Shay? Sorry.
It's at advantage. and I
Whatever
rolled a
Heinrich
20.
pointed out. So
Can't double a 20.
the ones looking to not be found.
Okay.
The dirty, the
Sure.
Yeah.
That
In
for
the
what it's
background.
worth, as you walk and you see this tavern, there's a sign outside. It is divided in half. On one side, you see this beautiful blonde woman, and on the other side, a little similar but just covered in warts and a little bit heavier, buck teeth, a similar person. And above that, in common, is written "The Ugly Twin." It's a pretty squalid tavern. You smell lemon and seawater that kind of comes out. There are a handful of people in there, and you hear yelling. It seems like a pretty rowdy place.
the diviest bar.
It is a real. It's the second diviest bar in Dungannon, technically.
Never mind. Did you? Yeah.
Yep.
The bullfrog's
We're good.
last croak is probably like the worst one.
There you go.
But you see that is a place that
So
would have some
confused.
people who are not meant to, or who do not want to be found.
Okay.
What was Nod's perception check?
Natural 20 or 24.
Natural 20.
Yeah. I mean, it's got advantage.
Nod takes off through the dark air, and opening your eyes and seeing through Nod's, the way that Nod sees the world is very different. You see these like towering spires of rock and this glimmer of light. For Nod, there is a joy to flying in this place because it's like a racetrack almost. And as Nod begins to like twist and turn, you feel this small owl like hugging the sides of the cavern. But keeping his eyes down, Nod sees here and there traces of movement, bits of rats and things like that, and they skitter away. You're able to see a few of these kind of pause, and they don't skitter from Nod's view. You see one seem to almost watch Nod, and then turn and very casually seem to kind of walk away. Almost person-like.
Certainly follow that.
Okay. You open your eyes and turn. You tell Shay? Okay. Turning, this would be a little bit behind you. You'd seen that tavern, but off in the opposite direction. A little bit in the direction of the Dungannon Antiquities Collective. Follow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like chasing, but like at
Yeah.
a distance, using the bird's eye view, and
So-
like trying to. I don't know. It's not like an odd can really hide if it's been seen.
So what I'll say, though, is with that natural 20, it's less about remaining hidden,
Yeah.
not just flying overhead, and you do have to kind of mentally almost pull Nod back because Nod is like trying to kind of like, oh, I'm going to like turn through here and like twist over
Right.
there.
Having fun.
Yeah, and so you're trying to like pull Nod back. But Nod is able to track this mouse, this rat. And it is, as you get like a little closer and Nod over top, maybe by only about 10 feet, you see this rat walking on two legs. makes its way through. You see people kind of crossing, but not able to kind of track the movements. You make your way through these streets, heading ever south, away from Lower Anchor, and you see the other mesas now, both of them, Nasus and Sonoso, rising up. You get to a point where you're walking down this main kind of chasm that opens up to the ocean, far away. The smell of salt water begins to get greater, and though there is no dirty places in Dungannon, it's a relatively well-kept city. As you walk now, you're seeing more and more these like dark alleyways and places where lights are not lit. The people that you see a little quieter and move a little bit more furtively. And suddenly off and to your right, you see carved into the actual mesa itself this dark cavern and just the first row of like gravestones. And you can see there's been like this maybe 4-foot tall barricade that's been hastily erected around. There are a few members of the Riders of Galvany who are outside of this area, kind of keeping watch. That rat into the cave.
Okay. Just pull Nod back.
Disappears.
That might be where they're hanging out. Now the guards, you said they're not guards. Again, always calling them guards, but the Riders of Galvany people are standing watch out front of this.
So you see 3 of them. There's one kind of on either side of the cemetery, and one that's a little bit across the street, kind of chatting with a young woman who's standing outside of the Bullfrog's Last Croak, this kind of shitty bar. You can see made out of like some of the poorest wood you've ever seen. There are areas where the sea has kind of eaten away at it. Much of this wood has been repurposed from ships and docks. And you can still see like dried, calcified barnacles clinging to areas. Sitting outside, you could see on this comically small stool, this huge Goliath who serves as a bouncer, perhaps. You can smell popcorn. Yeah. You can smell popcorn, salt, a very familiar smelling beer. You smell Proust Pale all the way across the continent in the shittiest bar, and it smells stale even from this distance.
It still hits me with a little twang of like missing home, but
And then you hear this kind of like strum and this little, it sounds like a lute. And for all the world, you've heard something like that before. And you hear this voice kind of cough from the inside, and you see the man, the Rider of Galvany, look up and kind of like hush the woman as he looks over. Close enough to make a perception check.
okay. Can I defer to Shay? It's 12.
12? Okay. You hear him just say something excitedly and kind of look over. Shay, what are you doing? You're still looking for...
I mean, following Heinrich and kind of just keeping an eye out.
With your passive perception.
What are you
you
saying
hear
over there? What's
this-
going on over there?
Yeah. You hear this guard kind of like hush this woman, and he says, "Hang on, that's Nilly Winslow." And he kind of begins to take a couple steps forward.
Twist.
But
Oh, good thing we got drunk.
because it's 11:50,
Oh shit, we can go revisit him.
this is where we're going to end for the
you go.
evening.
Perfect.
But as you kind of cross towards, and you can see all these holes within this tavern, you do see a bright red lute and this powder blue jacket, and would imagine that the bard is in fact inside. But thank you guys for hanging out with us for session 90 for Adventures in Alberon, which is crazy to think about.
Yup.
But are we all back next week? Dun-dun. So we'll be back next week for session 91 of Adventures in Alberon. But before we go, Talon, thank you very much for donating those channel points or redeeming those channel points. Shay, you were asked a question, which if I don't know if it actually comes up on this thing. It just says,
I got it.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
Shay, what do you think is the biggest positive for you since you started traveling with the rest of the Finger Gang?
Shay very much appreciates the exposure to the rest of the world. She appreciates the world broadening view.
Yeah, I mean,
She's
that's
being,
legit.
yeah,
Okay.
You were in the north your whole life, right?
Most of it.
most of
And
it.
Yeah.
who's your favorite?
Heinrich.
Nice. Look at that.
Wow, that was pretty quick.
Is it
Surprised it wasn't Guntir.
I can't believe it.
It's the two good aligned characters who are well, Hawk
Alright.
is good aligned, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I bad aligned?
Chaotic.
That's not
Chaotic
bad.
neutral.
Chaotic neutral.
For sure.
Yeah, you began chaotic good and very quickly transitioned to chaotic neutral.
Well, yeah, now I have had a lot of trauma. I'm
Yes.
suppressing.
I mean, for
Morwen's
a
like essential.
pirate, like, chaotic neutral's pretty good.
Yeah.
yeah, for like a
least you're not, like-
swashbuckler rogue.
Yeah,
I'm
at
doing
least you're not
just
actively, like, pillaging small farm towns or something
Yeah.
anymore, presumably.
Not yet.
Yeah, not
So-
yet.
Next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch, we will be back for session 91. However,
Yeah.
I know that there was also some other channel points.
Yeah. Another log
I have to
off
sign
of,
off.
So
of the
go
fan
ahead
favorite.
And, Allie, go ahead and take us away.
How long has it been since we were at the Lorebinder Academy?
Most recently,
Yeah.
like 3 days.
Right, 3 days ago. This just in. Important book stolen from the Lorebinder Academy. Book containing secrets your government doesn't want you to know. If you have any information on this book, please call us at 1-800-SECRETS your government doesn't want you to know. Thank you, and have a good night. Sorry, guys.
Well, that was good.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.